Yeah, no doubt. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, praise y'all. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom to the worldwide family out there, y'all. Happy feast day.
Yes, sir.
As we feast on the word of the Most High. Y'all know how we do it for the newcomers. We turn toward Holy Jerusalem, which is in the east part of the world. We just happen to be in the west. If we was in Russia, we turn toward the north. So y'all, with that understanding, just toward the south. That's 1 Kings 8 chapter, Daniel chapter 6, verse 10. Also in the book of Jonah, you see he turned toward thy holy temple, you know, when he prayed and fasted, y'all. And also 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 8, hold our hands high. Y'all, we need help from the Most High, so we hold our hands up like a child will hold it up for his parents to pick him up and lift him up and show him security and power and majesty. That's right. So y'all, in that aspect. And also 1 Corinthians 11, men ought to uncover their head and women ought to cover their head when praying or prophesying amongst the assembly. Yes. So y'all, we don't want to get it misinterpreted that we have to do it all times, but at least when we and our brother of one accord, we symbolize in the power of covering. Y'all, with that, brother, gonna get a psalm on and we're gonna get this feast day rolling. We're gonna get this lesson going, y'all, and hopefully bring forth understanding.
That's right. We'll get this open in prayer with the Most High's permission.
Yes, sir.
In the name of his only begotten and beloved Son.
Yes, sir.
Our Lord and Savior.
Yes, sir.
Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, locally known as Jesus the Christ.
Yes, sir.
Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, the 143rd chapter. And it reads, hear my prayer, O Yahweh, give ear to my supplications. In thy faithfulness, answer me, and in thy righteousness. Yes. And enter not into judgment with thy servant. For in thy sight shall no man living be justified. For the enemy hath persecuted my soul. He hath smitten my life down to the ground. He hath made me to dwell in darkness, and those that have been long dead. Therefore is my spirit overwhelmed within me. My heart within me is desolate. I remember the days of old. I meditate on all thy works. I muse on the work of thy hands. I stretch forth my hands unto thee. My soul thirsteth after thee, as a thirsty land. Selah. Selah. Hear me speedily, O Yahweh. My spirit faileth. Hide not thy face from me, lest I be like unto them that go down into the pit. Cause me to hear thy loving kindness in the morning, for in thee do I trust. Cause me to know the way wherein I should walk, for I lift up my soul unto thee. Deliver me, O Yahweh, from mine enemies. I flee unto thee to hide me. Teach me to do thy will, for thou art my Elohim. Thy spirit is good. Lead me into the land of uprightness. Quicken me, O Yahweh, for thy name's sake. For thy righteousness' sake, bring my soul out of trouble. And of thy mercy, cut off mine enemies, and destroy all them that afflict my soul. For I am for I am thy servant. Hallelujah! Say that!
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Woo. Tell him light skin. Thomas back there, eh? Yes, sir. All right, y'all, we're going to get into a lesson today that's going to improve our vision, so to speak. So today's class is called Biblical Depth Perception. So we need to see not only what's right in front of us, but what's afar off with clear vision. And y'all, we're going to hit a few scripts to determine this, and what will bring about clear biblical depth deception is understanding never to be lukewarm or double-minded. If you have that, you're going to have what's called blurry vision. And y'all know what that's like. That's just a lot of doing this and bucking your eyes, thinking you can see clear, doing this. Until you get it clear. Like we always do, y'all. If anybody got anything on their heart, mind, or soul that we can get on right away and move forward, shout that out. If not, we're going to continue to move. Anybody in the worldwide audience out there got a question or concern of any past teachers or maybe anything that's on your mind? How we looking? Anybody down here? Anybody got anything on your mind, heart, or soul? Been troubling you all week. If not, we're going to get on this biblical depth perception. And we're going to get some understanding of how to see clearly and how to have basically single vision with two eyes. And y'all, when we get into these type of things, we like to do kind of little tests so you can understand where we're going, because this is a living book. So basically it's spiritual knowledge being brought down to an earthly plane to a people that has basically corruptible flesh. But we got to start practicing this now. Because guess what? The eye of the soul is crystal clear. It's either going to see evil or it's going to see righteousness. So that eye, we want to make sure that we have finely tuned. These eyes are part of the corruptible flesh that we were born with that's soon going to get dim. Like Isaac was. Eyes was dim. He couldn't even tell if it was Esau or Jacob in the room. Righteous man though, but his spiritual eye was crystal clear. And y'all, there's little tests you can do to test depth perception. That's to see if you have what they may call 20/20 vision, or perfect eye, both eyes seeing correctly from these physical eyes. If you hold like this or a ball up and you point at it and you look at it, if you close one eye, say the right eye, and you pointing at it, if it's still pointing to the center of that, and then you close the left eye, whichever way your finger move off of that object, that's the strong eye. Because it's gonna move. And say, well, how about if we do it with the left hand? Will it change? Point at it the same way. Cover the right eye, it's gonna be dead center. Close left eye, it's still gonna move over if that's the weaker eye, whichever the stronger eye. But when we get into biblical depth perception, that single eye make both eyes 20/20 again. Because you're seeing supernaturally beyond what the common man sees. But this is just for anybody that keep wondering why they try to drive like this. I can see better like this. No, bro, that's going to be a problem. You can't see the depth perception over here. You can't see nobody coming over into your lane. Open that one eye up and get what little bit of vision you can out of it. Or get some glasses. But that spiritual eye we talking about, y'all, and it's a war about that spiritual eye. Satan is using or trying to get at that spiritual eye with his version of it, how he wants you to see it. He wants you to see it through a triangle, like Jay-Z them do it. He wants you to see it from that perspective, like on the back of your dollar. Then he knows what God you're trusting in and which eyes you are trying to see light through. But just like doing this with a patch over it, it's going to be a problem with that. So we're going to get into a few scriptures today lawfully, and then we're going to get into a couple biblical patriarchs, specifically Asher and the Testament of Joseph at the end, y'all. So we're gonna do a little bit of reading to get some understanding, but it's gonna be perfect situations about what we're talking about. Because y'all, what happens is if that spiritual eye get evil, it's gonna be a problem. That means you're gonna see evil in your sleep, then that means you're gonna want to see evil when you wake up. And these two eyes, you're gonna be trying to watch it through that, and these are faulty. They're gonna lead you astray. It's why when all the crime shows you always, you're like, how they miss that? Man, why are they so crazy? And you get a simple answer. They robbed, they killed it. That's why they missed it. You're blinded when you're doing evil. That's why they didn't see that. Even if they had got away with that, their eyes still was on them 10,000 times brighter than the sun. That seen it all. So, what you said, bro? Yes, sir. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, we're going to start about verse 9. And he writes, if your eye offend thee, pluck it out.
That's right.
It's better to go in with one eye than two. Y'all, and he told us this is a sinful and adulterous generation we live in. This last one precede the days of Noah. And just like Sodom and Gomorrah, y'all, we gonna see spiritual wickedness at a high level. Fornication starting spiritually and then fleshly. That's gonna lead us right into the reign of the Antichrist, y'all. So we got to make sure we are seeing these things afar off. Like he said, the spirit of Antichrist already does work. He like, you're seeing it. So you should already be putting it together what's happening. If you don't see that, then something is blinding you. And we're going to see a lot of what that may be. It may be envy, jealousy. It's going to be one of the deadly sins that Satan like to send his demons to torment you with, so you can't see. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 9.
Everybody there? The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 2, starting at verse 9.
Sure.
And it reads, but as it is written, eye hath not seen.
What hath not seen?
Eye hath not seen.
Right.
Nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which Yah hath prepared for them that love him.
So he's saying that eye hath not seen that. Ain't nobody seen what it looks like, pure glory. I'm talking about with sin gone. Anybody ever been anywhere where sin has been eradicated? You got people that talk about 70 AD, talking about that was the Antichrist then, when Nero Caesar did his bid. The problem is it was supposed to be 1,000-year peace behind that. If that was 70 AD, and this supposed to be the kingdom of peace at this time with no sin, then I hate to see what sin is then. Because sin is supposed to be locked up for 1,000 years during that time, ain't it? If we in that kingdom, then when Satan get loose, we got some real problems then, don't we? Because what we seeing out here today, is trouble. Go ahead, bro, read some more.
Verse 10.
What it say?
But Yah hath revealed them unto us by his spirit.
By his what?
By his spirit. For the spirit searcheth all things. Yeah, the deep things of Yah.
So it says the spirit searches all things. The deep things, y'all. So it's that spiritual eye that won't allow you to see with these carnal eyes that make you make bad decisions about a situation. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 11. For what man knoweth the things of a man, save the spirit of man, which is in him? Even so the things of Yah knoweth no man, but the spirit of Yah. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the spirit which is of Yah.
What's the spirit of the world? Who was given power over the world that spirited our ways? So we know we're not part of that. We know what spirit is out here, y'all. and he know which one to come with. Behind the 7 spirits of the Most High, or like this menorah is in the tabernacle of the Most High, and it represents the 7 spirits of the Most High. Satan coming with his same 7. That's what he want to get locked and loaded into your mind. And as we get into a few of these chapters, y'all gonna see what it means, y'all. And basically what it's talking about is double-minded or blurry vision. Double-minded thinking 2 different things will make you see 2 different ways. You start to accept things you know is wrong. Seeing it right before your face. And you say, but I can make it right. I can. All the other ones that failed, they just did it wrong. Okay? Let's see.
That we might know the things that are freely given to us of Yah.
That are what given to us?
Freely given to us of Yah.
Yes, sir.
Which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teacheth, but which the Holy Ghost teacheth, comparing spiritual things with spiritual.
See, so we keep the scriptures the source. Every other outside book better stay resource. Don't bring me no book. How you gonna tell me the New Testament been tampered with, but then you bring me some book by some Roman wrote 300 years ago? So you trust outside or resource more than the source. You gonna convince me that that has more power? Who tested him? How you know for sure he was around or alive at that time? We got to be careful we don't get double-minded just to try to prove a point, because you're trying to prove it with these eyes. And this ain't gonna last long. Let's get some more.
Verse 14.
What it say?
But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of Yah, for they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned.
So he can't know these things, so he may throw the word allegory at you. Well, ain't all that written in allegory, meaning it's just could mean something. Well, what that means is that could be a private interpretation. 2 Peter 1:20 tells us there's no private interpretation. If you let it become a private interpretation, it's going to be a problem for you, because nobody can be wrong at that point. Once you let him have a private interpretation, he can have one. Who you going to say is wrong? Once again, it's like letting somebody on board when you playing dominoes, 15 to get on board, 10 thereafter, and they done got on with 5. You didn't see that? Now, how you gonna tell him he got to erase? He got half a house on this. Can't do it, can you? Let's get some more. Where we at?
Verse 15.
What it say?
But he that is spiritual judgeth all things, yet he himself is judged of no man.
Because spiritually, you're going to see this on both sides of the coin. You're going to see with 2 good eyes with 20/20. So you're judging this matter spiritually. You're judging this matter like how it would be if you were in the kingdom. So it wants us to judge every matter accordingly, spiritually. Then no man can judge you. No man can judge you when you run this spiritually. Carnal is going to be the point when you try to make a lot of these spiritual scriptures carnal. That's where you're going to run into your problems. Because we know how carnal is. It lasts about as long as the other side of midnight. 2 minutes. Let's roll.
Verse 16.
Yes, sir.
For who hath known the mind of the Most High?
Who have done what?
Known the mind of the Most High, that he may instruct him. But we have the mind of a Mashiach,
which knew the mind of his father, because it was locked and loaded by his father in him. So if we follow him, then we follow the Father. But if we don't follow him, there's no way to the Father. And ain't no other route. Ain't no need trying a different path. You wasting your time. Y'all ever made the wrong turn and then figure, oh, I can cut through here, and then when you get there, it's blocked. Then when you get back over here, and then when you get back there, you 30 minutes later than you want it to be. Because you thought you saw a path that could cut through. They knew you were thinking that too. That's why they put that do not enter up there. Now you thinking, do I go? As soon as you start to go through it, there's a popo sitting right there. You bag up. I wasn't going through it. Yeah, you was till you saw him. So that's a self-correcting. You see something and you knew I was wrong. That's why you stopped. Matthew chapter 6, verse 22. We're going to roll good, y'all, because I want to get into these testament of these two patriarchs that are going to help us with this biblical depth perception that's happening to you in your subconscious mind of what you see. We read a lot in Romans 11, for Israel was blinded until the fullness of the Gentiles come in. Do that just simply mean that our loved ones ain't going to know this truth until like I say, black folks don't believe it till a white person tells them? Is that when we think, wait till the president say it, then they'll believe? They won't believe then. You have to understand, blindness is happening, said because of unbelief, they were blinded. Let's keep it with what the script says. So what is unbelief? Not believing what? These laws, statutes, and judgments. Every word, Alpha and Omega, Genesis to Revelation.
That's right.
If they don't believe that, the minute you say, oh, well, how we know that that's true, and how we know somebody didn't put that, once you did it, that's your problem. That ain't mine. I'm fully persuaded. I can't be judged by what you're saying, because I'm not going to spiritually, I done judged this matter already, spiritually let you judge me on this or how I don't know. Once we play that game, where it's going to stop? How you know that's your birth certificate? You could actually be who we've been talking about. You may be Earl from the tire shop and just don't know it. But we ain't gonna run that rabbit hole.
And before you go further, Elder,
yes, sir.
I got a perfect example for that double-mindedness.
Yes, sir.
Just a couple of weeks ago, I lose my job, and in between losing my job, I had to keep my mind and my thoughts correct.
Yeah, you did.
I couldn't do nothing that double-minded. Anytime
right.
my thoughts came through, I threw it in the trash.
Good.
And I stuck to what the word said.
Yeah.
And so I was able to work with that, and I ended up getting a job.
Boy, ain't that something?
Making double, almost more than double.
What?
I was making it first.
Boy, y'all see how that?
I ain't working graveyard shift no more.
Y'all see that? Look, but looking down the line, we see that something was down the line more clearer. Eyes are more sharper. Already there, y'all.
Already there.
He said, if you believe, I got your back.
That's right. Even when we make mistakes,
right.
I'm mistake when I lost the job. I'm telling Steve at the wheel, I'm driving down.
Oh no, up all day.
End up in the corner.
All up all day. Look, and trying to go to work at night. It ain't gonna happen, y'all.
It ain't gonna happen. He tells us we make mistakes.
That's right.
You know what I mean? You know, make righteous mistakes, he still got our back.
Look.
We can't be double-minded, thinking opposite of what the enemy put up in there.
You had those who were driving out there at that time of night thought you was driving one of them Tesla autopilot cars, because you was like this. They like, he got one of them auto cars. No, he don't. Yes, sir, but it turned out well. And because your eye didn't keep looking at that check cashing place of people coming out, that eye didn't look at that and say, I ought to knock the fat off her head. She ain't gonna see me coming.
That's keeping the same pattern that the corn ain't see him coming.
Boy. They thought it was some of them crop circles when he got through.
He must be bold.
Yes, sir. All praises, bro. All praises, though. Great testimony, bro. Yeah. Matthew chapter 6, verse 22.
Reading in the book of Matthew.
Start backing up at 19.
Reading in the book of Matthew, chapter 6. Start our reading at around verse 19.
Yes, sir.
And it reads, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal.
Where thieves break through and steal. So y'all, we do this on a carnal level because the scripture don't contradict itself when it says store up for a season. Y'all, that's 3 months. The Most High is saying you need at least whatever your bills is, you need that saved for 3 months. Now, we almost need a scratch off or something to get us to that point, most of us. But he's saying if you in that position, you will get past the trouble in your life. 3 months. If you get it, because they ain't come and get the car for 3 months. Right. They ain't gonna put you out the house for 3 months. If you're behind on certain things, y'all. So where do you think they got these things from? Because all they gonna do, Satan gonna say, Lord, he just didn't obey your rules. Because if he had it, he'd have got through that season. But we just think about this. If you get laid off today, will fall, just say whenever winter start. You got all the winter. If it's cool, if you got it saved up, when spring start, there's gonna be some deliverance from the Most High if you got through that, because you're gonna be working to get through that, y'all. But it's rough out here, and we in positions, y'all, that is tight. Know why? Because the check you just got yesterday, the one that's coming 2 weeks from that was already spent. Said you juggling this? Hell, all of us to work for the soul circus. Bill juggler. I ain't gonna pay the light. I can pay that. I can call for extension on that. Bill juggler at the soul circus. Professionals at it. But we have to look down the line, y'all, where we don't find ourselves in that position all the time. But y'all, we know it's rough. But you can't put yourself in positions that bring that faster along than it should be, and bring that burden on you. So you're storing up treasures in heaven what moths can't break through and steal, y'all.
I say, boy, I'm gonna pay something on
that. Hey, look, they tell you, well, look, you should have called 3 days ago. You were still in the grace period. You calling us while the man outside.
On the pole.
The man on the pole. Ain't nothing to discuss at this point. Where we at?
We're at verse 20. Boy, that's great.
Yeah.
But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal.
See, you got to believe that, though. You got to believe the work that you're sharing is stacking chips for you. So when you turn a sinner from his ways, you got to be ready. And what it means from his ways is it hides a multitude of sin. It didn't say which side it was on. It didn't say for him. It's for both of y'all. Because whatever you telling somebody, you can't then let him see you doing that. And then say, oh, well, you know, that don't include me. That's you. You a new boo in this. No, that ain't the way it works. So it would hide a multitude of sin, because you're saying to yourself, I just told him we can't do that. I can't do that. So you cut it off. And he cuts it off. Now, both of y'all combined may have 600,000 sins with that. They gone now. Especially when y'all around each other now. And it continues to work like that, and it continues to work like that. Let's read some more.
For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
So where your treasure is, so wherever your mindset is on, we gonna see what your treasure is. Whatever you like the most is gonna manifest. And we'll see where your treasure's at. A lot of people sell out for less than nothing. Chicken change. 2 pieces and a biscuit, man. That's it. Let's get it.
The light of the body is the eye.
What is the light of the body?
Is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light.
If you can get both these eyes to see single, that's why they always point like this. But some of us, y'all, we got a problem. Your eye wander off. And it'd be like you looking all the way at the front door. Man, there's Earl finna come up in here. How you see that? This eye is over there. They have to be single, y'all, so that both eyes are seeing the same. If this eye, you cover this eye up so it don't see wickedness, this one see it. Don't it? Let's read some more.
Verse 23.
What it say?
But if thine eye be evil,
If thine eye be what?
be evil,
Uh-huh.
thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in the dark in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness?
So basically talking about this pineal gland, the eye of the mind, the eye of the soul. If that become dark, then how great is that light? How great is it if some get control of your pineal gland and all you see is evil? All you think is evil. Your eyes don't want to see nothing else righteous but evil. And at that point, people start saying terms like, he don't have a conscience. She don't have a conscience. That's what they mean. That eye is evil. It cannot see anything good. Coming from the consciousness, it thinks evil. It sleeps evil. It breathes evil. No matter what the situation is, it's got something evil concerning it or coming out of his mouth about that situation, good or bad. But when we get in this testament of Asher, you're going to see these things, and you're going to see them from a living patriarch at the time on his deathbed. Like in Genesis 49, Jacob tell his 12 sons what should befall them. Each one of them 12 tribes had a testament, and they told what should befall them, their sons. Like we should be telling our children, look, you got to straighten that up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already seeing this down here. I'm 3 blocks down. You don't even see this gonna happen to you. Let's read some more.
Verse 24.
What it say?
No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve Yah and Mammon.
See, Mammon is the god of money. Mammon is not money. Money is not a god. It's the God that they say and we trust. Who is that? That God is called Mammon. That God makes you paper chase. That God make you bust somebody's head to the white meat for their money and rifle through their pockets or demand they empty them pockets out, run them pockets. That's Mammon that's driving that. You can't serve the Lord and Mammon, even though he say, you can use money, he says it's just a defense. That's all it is. Go on, brother. So Mammon is just a defense. Like Solomon tells us in Ecclesiastes, it's just to get you through to another point. Nothing more, nothing less. Because that money will fail. All in your teachings, you say that money gonna fail, right? So why would you trust in it? Like that, like it's a deliverer. Because those who are in power don't use money. They use power. Because they control and make all the money. They don't talk what they don't use. When y'all seen rich people go in their pocket? That's why these scriptures tell you it's a problem if you among the rich and you loan them some money. You can't loan the rich no money. You ain't gonna never get it back. Because the rich is arrogant. If you loan a rich some money, you're like, hey, I don't have any of my paperwork. You know I'm good for, I'm sitting on 50 million. Give me that money. You like, damn, you want all $113 I got? I'll give it back to you. And then you ask a rich man for his money. Wait a minute. What? That little $113 is like 1,000 to me, but to him, it's like ashtray change. Somebody go over there and look behind there. I got $2,000-3,000 over there and give him this little $100. If he asks you, pat your pockets, a rich man. I ain't got nothing either. Because these certain situations happen, y'all. You have to understand when you get rich, they don't see, they get blinded by this earthly rich and they don't understand poor anymore. When the Most High said, the poor you're going to have with you always, first in spirit, then in pockets. So we have to deal with it from that perspective. Let's read a little bit more. Where we at?
We're in verse 25. Therefore I say unto you, Take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, nor yet for your body, what ye shall put on. Is not the life more than meat, and the body than raiment?
So we can hold right there. Y'all read the rest of that on your own time, but what it's just basically saying is, why would you take thought about that and not think about the clothes that have to go on your soul? If you're not thinking about them white robes, that Gucci ain't gonna mean nothing. You can't wear Gucci in the kingdom. Because most of these designers are gay.
Right.
Almost all of them are. Versace, Gucci, Tom Hanks, what's some of them boys? Y'all know, what is it? Oh, well, y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, well, all of them. Oh, that's Forrest Gump, hey. Yeah. Well, y'all know what I'm talking about. All of the designers, and they're designing those things for men. And so you have to understand, but when your mind ain't on clothing like that, it's just clothes, what we're talking about. But if your mind is on them white robes, that's what's going to be given out. White robe, glistening like the sun, whiter than any fuller can get them. So if you got the strongest bleach on the planet and you put yours, you like, ain't these white? I tell you what, you think that bleach is good? That snow that's maybe left out there, go get that shirt you think is just white, a brand new t-shirt, and lay it down next to snow. It'll look like pea stains on that shirt. The difference is pure white when it says, when the Most High compares colors, he has an object for you to see. He don't talk about skin color, or when most of the time you see black in the Bible, if like this, the only time he's comparing a man's skin color to it, he will compare it to an object. Any other time you see in black, it may mean a mourning state. They went sackcloth and ashes, the whole face were black. It don't mean technically their face was in black, it just means it's a dark time. The countenance is dark. But when he says, and they are dark like the tents of Kedar, all we gotta do is go see what the tents of Kedar look like. You're like, oh, this boo black. So it's telling you, like in Ezekiel 1:27, they talk about from the loins upward, from the loins down, with a color of amber. So now you go look up amber, a translucent, darkish, brownish color. So that's what it says loins was like. You have something to compare to. But you just can't grab everything to say black, white, green, or yellow and think this is talking about person identification. It may be talking about a situation that they're in. Whenever the Bible deals with color of an individual, he will compare it to an object. Let's read some more. Where we at?
That's it, bro.
Come on up here. Yeah.
It's going back to what you said. This is how he referred us to the tent of God.
Right.
How beautiful he said it was.
Yeah.
And then he went on to say that the color of King Solomon was that color, but it was like, it compared him to white, but it didn't compare him to white that you see, but the color that glistens.
Pure white. See, and right, or they'll run that by you and say, see right here, it says Solomon white. Or like this, where we get into Lamentations 4th chapter, which he speak of, how has the gold become dim? The sons of Israel, the Nazarite, how have they become? The gold has become dim. I'm talking about, y'all ever seen anybody with gold in their mouth and they ain't put no rag on it or that twinkle on it in a while? It's dull. It looked like it needs polishing. And it asks about the sons like that. It says they're ruddy and bright. They're whiter than snow. Most people stop right there, especially the clan who's trying to prove that Israel is white. Will say right there, it says he's whiter than snow. You looking like, oh, look. But the next verse it says, but their visage, their face is blacker than a coal. Now, either we got a man walking around here with a white body and a black face, or we need to get some understanding on what the scripture is saying about how has the gold become dim. But if you continue to read, you will understand and you will see a consistent pattern with the Most High of how he identifies objects when he's pointing out an individual. Like all throughout the scripture, the only time you see red applied to any individual is when it's talking about Esau. Only time you see the word ruddy in the Bible is tied to Israel. The two places you see them, but ruddy, you'll see some of the definition says red. Is it talking about the same thing, or is it just talking about red with melanin? One is red with melanin. That's the difference between the two. That's how you identify the two. One has melanin in the red color and one doesn't. So the one with melanin, we call it red, ruddy or muddy. So we get a clear understanding, y'all. The Bible interprets itself. Once you get into this color right here, it said they was white, you're going to lose this real quick because you're on outer color. The spirit has no color. Y'all ever seen the spirit of a body leave somebody and you describe the color? Many people have said that, man, I saw the spirit leave from his body. Just ask, what color was it? What color was it when it left their body? And then if you talk about, my grandmama, she came back in my vision. What clothes did she have on? You saying she in heaven? Wait a minute. What, her favorite church dress on second Sunday? They don't wear that in the kingdom. Not her favorite dress. And she had that hat on too with that fruit basket on it, more fruit than over there on that table. She had that on too and say she was coming from heaven. That's going against the rules. I'm sorry, your vision is clouded. You want to see that. You're begging to see that. So just take that for what it's worth right there. Once you see that, that's the tip off. It's spiritual things you have to see because he visits us in dreams and visions. Guess who's going to be right there in the visions waiting too? Satan. So you start laying out your suit. If I die, bury me in that. For what? And make sure I had them gaiters on and that lower part of the coffin open. I want them gaiters showing where you going.
Right.
What? I mean, how you gonna get an electric slide contest at the repass or? Where we at?
Oh,
Job chapter 31 and 1. Shalom, y'all. Shalom, Mark, Sister Joy. Job chapter 31. And y'all, here's another brother that made a covenant with his eyes. Y'all think about these things, y'all. When you make a covenant with your eyes, who's the only one can break that covenant? Who? You. That's right. You're the only one that can break that covenant. Yeah, my page is flipped. There we go. Some people's eyes, this book say job.
Damn.
Yes, sir.
How can you make a covenant with your eyes? Then your lady stand in front of you with all these attributes she was blessed with.
Right.
Look, am I fat with this? And you looking over there, see, you don't even care.
Right. Look.
I can't feel up for that. You trying to make me do the L and the P?
No, you don't look fat in that dress. But that's a fat dress. Not you, baby. It's that dress. Let's read some more, y'all. You gonna start at verse 1, bro?
Yeah, we starting at verse 1. If we start.
Yeah. Go ahead, brother.
In the book of Job, chapter 31, verse 1. I made a covenant with my eyes. Why then should I think upon a maid?
He said, I made a covenant with my eyes. Why then should I think upon a maid? A maid is just an unmarried woman. Basically, so you're looking at, I made a covenant with my eyes. Every young woman walk past, I ain't gonna be shooting out the look. No, I'd have made a covenant with that. I don't care what they look like. This covenant, because all your mind is doing is not thinking, okay, I can make her my wife, and then we'll have this many children, and then I'll retire, and then this and this and that, and then we'll live our life together. Shalom there. And then that's how we'll end up. Your mind is, before she walked through the door good, you already throw the rag in the sink. That quick. And then you snap out of it. And don't let them catch you looking. Oh, you the one made covenant with your eyes while they down there, or they keep looking right here. Oh. If you have to do it to yourself. Let's read some more.
For what portion of God is there from above? And what inheritance of the Almighty from on high?
So he's talking about the blessings on high. What do I get out of this? What, if I make a covenant, he said, if you make an oath, Deuteronomy 19, say you don't keep your oath, he says the worst thing you can do. That's why he says swear not at all, but affirm. Lord, I'm gonna try to do right. Now you made these eyes. They're for looking, not for lusting. Now you can look because you have to admire the beauty that the Bible speaks of about the daughters of Israel. And other nations had fine women too. But just on a consistent basis, what you see, you make a covenant with your eyes that this is going to be around you nonstop. They're for looking, but they're not for lusting. And men know when you done got caught looking. It's just what I hear, y'all. Let's read some more.
Is not destruction to the wicked, and a strange punishment to the workers of iniquity.
See, a strange punishment outside the natural realm. See, these things happen and they be strange. And when you talk about how somebody got killed or whatever, it's outside of what the scripts say, how you live a long life and then you leave here. This is a strange death. This is not according to most of these patriarchs we see. They pull their feet in the bed. They get me up, y'all. They sit up. And then they give you their last testament, and then they pull their feet back in the bed and just pull the cover up right here. And they be like, how you gonna leave here? He's like, look, I'm gonna be out of here pretty soon. Every man and woman, not child, know what's plaguing them and know how it hurts you. And you have to make a decision. Do I want to go to the doctor and find out about this? Or could this just be gas?
Visible.
Right. Could be just gas, you know what I'm saying? Got you hurting right here, and all in the back. Take some baking soda, whatever them remedy it is, belch, and if that don't work, you probably need to go see what that is. Or ask somebody, you ever had this pain? No, I don't talk about pain because you're going to have to go to the doctor. And the doctor going to tell you something. Who want to have a double mindset like that? What if they say somebody was going to kill you? No, don't tell me he at my house waiting on me. I don't want to hear that you burning bread on me. I ain't burning nothing on you. He at the house waiting on you. Let's read some more, y'all. Let's get on through this.
Verse 4. Does not he see my way and count all my steps?
He already see your ways because he sees your thought pattern. It's what the Most High do. He said, I'll judge you according to your consciousness. I will tell you the intent of your heart. See, so he's not picking it up when it finally get to the flesh, these hands. He's picking it up, the thought process, when you start putting it together. Did you throw it out? You see all of this wickedness right here and you observing it, but in your mind you say, well, once I tame it and throw the rag in the sink, it'll work out just fine. Yep. You're fooling yourself. And you know it. But we tend to just look the other way. Well, the Most High looking at the thoughts. What you were thinking, that's why you got to get it out of here. You got to tell him to flee from here. before it gets to your door and knock on it. Get the thought out of that. Let's read some more.
If I have walked with vanity, or if my foot have hasted to deceit, let me be weighed in an even balance, that God may know mine integrity.
See, and that's where we get back to that 1 Corinthians 2, where he said, judge a matter, but be not judged spiritually. Because that's where you want the Most High to see how you handle both sides of an issue, spiritually first. If you get into the corner, you're going to struggle trying to bring the spiritual aspect into this. Because, see, it ain't about what's right. I mean, it ain't about who's right. It's about what's right. And spirit is truth is an absolute. It don't need no support. It don't need no help. Ain't nothing you can do with truth to help it out or assist it. It's absolute. It don't need you. It existed before the foundations of the world. And you just show up now thinking truth won't listen to you. But if we do it any other way, we're going to lean to one side. And then the other side will be left, and that's where judgment going to come on and say, why didn't you look at this side of it? Go ahead, bro. What you got back there, L9?
Yeah, speaking on the spiritual aspect of it, that's what Christ said in Matthew 5:27-28.
What did he say?
He said, ye have heard that it is said by them of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say to you, that whosoever looketh upon a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart.
See, and what is just not talking about any woman. This was a situation because they were talking about marriage at first. And they say, but the lustful eye, there will be nothing off limits to you. Once the lustful eye you don't care nothing about she married. Oh, you know, most women in here have been in the grocery store. I see you married. Yes, I am. But are you happy? What does happy mean?
Do you want to sin?
Yeah, that's what it means. That's exactly what it means. Do you want to sin?
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
You posed a point of, could you put it in this way, that what you've seen, that vanity is something that you see here on earth, which will perish.
Yeah.
So because it will perish, it doesn't prove anything.
No, it's vain.
It's vanity.
Yeah.
And scriptures would say vanity, and all.
All is vanity.
In that point, when we see it's all vanity, you want to take something that'll only last, not even a season, a second, and you want to compare it to eternity.
Yeah, that lasts forever. That lasts forever. Very powerful, mother. Thank you. Very good understanding, y'all. This is what I'm saying. The focus is you focus more energy on what's going to go away in a nanosecond. Look, y'all, I was rolling tires, 2-inch white wall, and I throw a bag of dirt in there so it looked like they were smoking. That seemed like it was yesterday, but it wasn't. That was in the 70s.
I remember that too, boy. That was fun.
That, and you could think about that to now, rolling tires. And to make your tire really like you was put some dirt in there. It leaves a trail of dust, and you see, these shorties don't know nothing about that. All these experts rolling tires. What the hell? Rolling tires.
Yeah. You put it on the inside.
Boy, I had armor all on my tire. I used to sit on my tire like it was a bike.
That was older than me.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man.
Yeah, my birth certificate ain't wrote on the rock. And you that much. It was wrote on the real rock. Let's get it. Where we at, y'all?
Verse 7.
What it say?
If my step have turned out of the way, and my heart walked after mine eyes.
Walked after my what?
After mine eyes. And if any blot have cleaved to my hands, then let me sow, and let another eat. Yea, let my offspring be rooted out.
And he said, if I looked at something I wasn't supposed to be looked at, and I planted seed, then I reap what I sow. Let them children be rooted out. This is the vow that he made with his eyes, y'all. And the Most High ain't gonna let him forget this vow. That's why he tell you swear not at all unless you sure about what you want to do. Your soul is on the line when you swear. You don't have to swear in court. They just hope you ain't read the scripture. When they do that, do you swear to tell the whole truth? Why do they give you the Bible? To swear. Y'all heard some shoulders holler? Is that happy hollering or hollering like Bella Lugosi out there? Okay, that's fun. But you can say, no, I affirm. And that means I'm going to tell you to the best of my recollection what it is. Because if you're not 100% sure and you're not willing to do it, a lot of times men would put their hand under another man's thigh. You know, like how you sit on your hands when they cold? That was the closest you get to his power, so to speak, his strength. And you're saying, I'm putting everything on this, you know, so that was a sign that I'm putting it on like this. They would put the hand near the thigh. It's why the Most High name is written on the thigh. It's where the power of the loins is, where these are in control. I don't have to worry about any of those things. I'm putting it on this. And for a man, that's a thing, because you're saying you can get rid of them. And then it ain't no offspring, y'all. Let's read some more.
Verse 9.
What it say?
If my heart have been deceived by a woman, or if I have laid wait at my neighbor's door, then let my wife grind unto another.
Yeah, go ahead.
What it say?
That's what it say.
Everybody, huh? What? Typo?
It came out right.
Oh, yeah, it came out right. Look, he thought he was. Boy, those on the other side of midnight TV.
That'll make you think straight, won't it?
Let's read some more. What'd he say?
Verse 10 again.
What'd it say?
Then let my wife grind unto another, and let others bow down upon her.
And so he's saying, and then everybody else can join in too. Line up.
Set it out.
If I'm looking at that like that, this is the vow he made with his eyes, y'all. And look, that vow, that covenant of that alone will wipe away a multitude of sins, because you know where you at. And look, once you make that vow and you start living that, you get comfortable. You don't have to have a sore neck like you do now trying to make that covenant with your eyes, where you rolling down King's Highway in the summertime and all them got on shorts over there. You just looking straight ahead because your woman in the car. But she done seen her 3 blocks down. You looking, I ain't gonna look. Look, my head is stiff, I ain't gonna look. That's some Advil work. But the bottom line, you look, boy. Woo, we in them days. Keep on driving. Because if it ain't that, if you look through a boom, how you gonna explain that? That the radiator is where the radio was. What did you slam into like that? Did the brakes go completely out?
No, I wasn't looking.
Let's read some more, y'all.
Verse 11. For this is a heinous crime.
What is it?
A heinous crime.
Yes.
Yea, it is an iniquity to be punished by the judges. For it is a fire that consumeth to destruction, and would root out all my increase. If I did despise the cause of my manservant or of my maidservant, when they contended with me, what then shall I do when God rises up, and when he visits? What shall I answer him? He said, so if I treat, because I got a servant and I treat them bad, you know, and they good to me, then what's going to happen when we finally meet? What do I expect of him? Being his servant. Because he said, practice what you preach. You can't beat your servant down and then expect him to deliver you and not beat you down. Because it's rules for a servant. Let's read some more. Yes, ma'am.
I was noticing there where he says about his increase. So that means that his finances, even all that he owns, that's going to, he put that in jeopardy.
Everything on the line.
His future finances.
Everything with his children, his posterity, all of it. Everything on the line. My future generations, all of this go if these get out of check. Y'all, if you can't do it now, you sure ain't gonna be able to do it for 1,000 years.
So would you say that eyes are connected to his heart?
This eye is connected to his heart. This one, that's why I say if this become dark, then the whole body is dark. Then these will always be dark because it then filtered into this. And that's what Satan like to do through song. He like to give you a visual image. What they're singing that going in your ears is going into this eye first. And then you'll try to see that vision with these eyes. But you don't see down the road. Your biblical depth perception is not showing you what's waiting for you on the other side down there because you're blinded right here. This is cloudy. That can't be cloudy. That's looking through it from two sets of eyes. Go ahead. Shalom, bro.
So would you say that's connected to if your heart, it says if your eyes or your heart is contaminated, then the whole being, that's why you can't enter into it?
Well, right, because we're talking about and we want to keep it clear. We're talking about this spiritual eye. This is connected to the soul. The soul is what's going to be judged. These eyes won't be that. It'll be this eye because this is the eye you thought about it with. It's that same eye that when you conjure up the plan. It's the same eye that they tell if it's premeditated. It's the same eye that they come for as government when they're looking for you. They come for your hard drive because it's your consciousness. And now, y'all, we have to be careful because Shalom said, these computers that we have, these phones and different things, sometimes these things listen in. It may seem coincidental. Somebody may say you crazy, but if you just talking about a subject and you go to Google and then that pops up, you like, wait a minute. You listening.
Right.
Somebody's listening. That just wasn't supposed to pop up like that. I ain't Googled that yet. I was about to. And they're making everything for that. Everything on the tip of that phone. Y'all, why are they only promoting the camera part of these phones and charging you so much? They want that visual perspective right there. Because that's what plays on the mind, what these eyes see. If we can get these eyes to just look right here, it's been working in movies for the longest. I'm gonna say this, y'all will move on. You go eat before you go to the movies. You even buy a bag of popcorn, stop at the Dollar General, get you all the goodie snacks that they got there. And when they run that commercial, them credits before you know, here you go back and here you come back with a bucket of popcorn this big, 2 loads of clothes to fit in. Like you going to the laundromat, full of popcorn. So now you just not starting to belch popcorn kernel because you're just packing it on. Because that subliminal seduction on the screen is after your subconscious. It keep pouring Coca-Cola in there. And you hear that sound and that bubbling and that bicarbonate sizzling and it look like, oh, it's so cold. Make you like it, that kind of cold when you swallow. There you go. There you go. Back to the concession stand. What's the biggest cup y'all got? All right. We got the milk jug and it's on sale. If you buy some juju beads, you get the whole gallon. Let's read on, y'all.
Verse 15. Did not he that made me in the womb make him? And did not one fashion us in the womb? If I have withheld the poor from their desire, or have caused the eyes of the widow to fail, or have eaten my morsel myself alone, and the fatherless have not eaten thereof. For from my youth he was brought up with me, as with a father. And I gave, and I have guided her from my mother's womb. If I have seen any perish from want of clothing, or any poor without covering, if his loins have not blessed me.
If his what have not blessed me?
Loins have not blessed me, and if he were not warmed with the fleece of my sheep. If I have lifted up my hand against the fatherless, when I saw my help in the gate, then let my arm fall from my shoulder blade, and my arm be broken from the bone.
See, look, he said let it fall off from the shoulder blade. He didn't say from the elbow where you get a little nubby work. Or if my wrist get cut off, hell, you still could be working at the donut shop and just, do this. He said, let it fall off from the shoulder. Look, you strictly one arm right there. Hey, ain't nothing you can do at that point. You are one armed at that point.
That's how they make them do it?
Yeah, well, I'm talking about just holding them up. Y'all understand what he's saying? He's saying if I had a chance to give to the poor, but y'all, we understand that the Sirach, what we talk about, 13th chapter, where it says a beggar's life is not to be counted as a life. That's a different from being poor. Poor is you fell on bad times. Poor is something happened in your lane and altered the structure, but you spend your time trying to come back up. That's poor. Begging is you made a living now out of this condition. So you don't care about nothing else. This is how I'm going to spend the rest of my life. So when you got that mindset, you will never have the mindset that once I get on my feet, I'm going to give this back. You understand what I'm saying? What you got, bro?
So they'll be like the beggar, be like the people you see on the highway every day. Exactly.
Well, yeah, if you know that they're making a hustle out of this. The only thing the script says about that is you have to look them in the eye. You can't look away. If you look at that, don't mean you have to give it to them because you lock eyes. You can be lock eyes and say, I seen you here yesterday. And that same gas can and that car parked in the same spot. See, right. They don't know who they done run the scam on, and it's you for the second time around, and you point to the car out of gas. Bruh, either you got to put $1 more in that gas tank, at least let the car run out of gas over here. How would they keep running out of gas in the same spot? That's somebody else's car. They just ran out of gas. What you got?
I seen the guy at the store. So I gave him a little change. Then I seen him the next day. He had a whole different story. So then I seen him later that evening. He at another store. Now he calling me out. Hey, bro, we at the same place.
Right. Boy, what'd he say? He say,
I'm gonna get my $10 back.
Boy, say, boy, you just showed up at Beggar's Paradise.
I was doing
So y'all, and this is not for anything for us to look down on anybody, but the Most High knows when it done went too far, because even in like Proverbs 6, when he tell you, he say, if a thief steals, now the word stealing is there to satisfy his soul. You can't despise him. But you don't give him a pass because somebody will run on it. You can't despise me, mission. You know what I'm saying? And how you gonna despise me? What the Bible say? Don't you go to church every Saturday? You say you is like you're supposed to despise. No, it says, but he must repay sevenfold when he get up on his feet. Hit a little bit of that for me. Hit that Proverbs 6. Just a minute, y'all. We're gonna come right back to this. Make sure that's right. It may be 20 and 6.
You said 20 and 6?
It's either 6 and 20 or 20 and 6. Hold on, let me get that. Sometimes that dyslexia be working. Make sure 6 and 20. Despise not a thief. Man, real quick. 6 and 20.
That's
Be 6 and 25. Yeah, 6 and 30. I'm sorry, 6 and 30. Yeah.
You want me to hit that then?
Yeah, I want you to hit that 6 and 30 and 31.
All right, Proverbs chapter 6, verse 30.
Well,
Men do not despise.
Everybody get there. I hear a few pages flipping. We good.
All right, Proverbs chapter 6, verse 30. Men do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy his soul when he is hungry.
When he is what?
Hungry. But if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of his house.
He should do what?
Give all the substance of his house.
So you see, y'all ain't no free pass with this, so to speak. You're not gonna get a free pass from doing this. So, and then let's hit that back there with Sirach chapter, what is it, 40? Let me go. 42. Oh no, let's go Sirach chapter 40, yeah, 26. So y'all, we get to understanding the difference in poor and begging, y'all, because we're gonna always have poor with us, and that's so you never forget how to give. If you become a beggar, you won't give back to the poor. Do y'all ever see them same ones with them signs now on the corner giving back a little bit of that money? Do you ever see it? Well, there's a problem with that, you know. So there's a difference in the Most High's eyes when it comes like that, because you can fall under poor circumstances. That don't mean you're gonna fall down, but he say, I got a way out for you. Do y'all know the snow that hit, or what was promised probably was gonna pay somebody's rent? What you got over there? Who that? Oh, what's up, bro? Okay. Well, you know what the deal is. Okay. How your business? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's our resident security, y'all. Make sure nobody ever leaves with damage to their cars. We ain't had in 3 years. That's top flight, yeah. So we take care of it. Handle your business, bro. Yeah. We good? Don't handle your business, bro. Let's read some more.
You said you want me to start in verse 28.
26.
26. All right, so Rock chapter 40, verse 26. Riches and strength lift up the heart.
What does riches and strength do?
Lift up the heart.
See, y'all, if some extra money come in, it lift up the heart, don't it? It all like, oh man, I can get some of these burdens off, but you got to be careful. These burdens gonna keep coming. Let's read some more.
But the fear of the Lord is above them both.
What is the fear of the Lord?
Above them both. There is no want in the fear of the Lord, and it needeth not to seek help.
See, there is no want, and understand how the Most High used the difference in want and need. He says, I'll provide your needs, not your wants. You want wants, you got to sacrifice. Same thing you do with your children. You want this, bring me some straight A's home. You know, you can't expect to get this and needs what you bring. My mama had a saying, I tell you what, I asked you last time not to bring all them damn foods here. D's and F's. She said, I ain't worried about what you want no more. I'm gonna beat you and get them straightened out. So it took the gift off the table because this was getting too far, because now you get good grades just to get a gift. Let's read some more. What is that?
Verse 27. The fear of the Lord is a fruitful garden.
What kind of garden is it?
Fruitful garden, and covereth him above all glory. My son, lead not a beggar's life.
What kind of life?
Beggar's life. For better it is to die than to beg.
See, now, that's the difference in poor, y'all. That's what I want y'all to see, the difference under that. It's saying it's better to die than to beg. It's a difference if you're poor and you're saying, I need some help. You know, your focus is going to be on what y'all give me. I'm going to make another move with this. If y'all just saw in the news, the lady that claimed that the homeless man, all it was a ruse, y'all. Look, they had gambling problems. He was outside the casino truly begging. and they hooked up with him 30 days before this scheme and say, you just say, I ran out of gas and you a homeless man gave me your last $20. You know what they raised in GoFundMe? 400,000. You know what brought it down? No honor among thieves. They gave him 75,000 of the 400. He got mad. He's like, oh no, this ain't gonna work. I tell him I'm used to living on the streets. Y'all ain't. I go to jail in the wintertime. Y'all don't. And I ain't talking about bullets. Give me that money. And they didn't. So he called and they started investigating and found the whole thing out. Not only they going to the penitentiary, but you're gonna have to pay back every dime. You know why? Because GoFundMe pays back everybody that donated.
Right.
Everybody, they give their money back. And they say, we coming after y'all, after some hide. Let's read some more.
Verse 29. The life of him that depended on another man's table is not to be counted for a life. For he polluted himself with other men's meat.
What do you do?
Polluted himself with other men's meat. But a wise man nurtured will beware thereof. Begging is sweet in the mouth of the shameless.
What is begging?
Sweet in the mouth of the shameless. But in his belly there shall burn a fire.
But in his belly there shall burn a fire. Y'all, that ain't comfortable to them. Y'all, you may think it's like they ain't gonna, but in their belly it burn a fire, man, because they have to look. Everybody that looking at some of us just scowl and just say what it means. Some of us just look at them like you know what you want to say, and they feel it. They'll go to another car. Knocking on my damn window and I'm late for work already. They'll go to the next car. But you're dependent on another man's table, y'all, and they running a series where a guy showed how he big and how much money. It's true, y'all. Them just ain't jokes on them movies where you see him snatch off them hobo clothes and jump in a Mercedes-Benz. Yeah. What you got said?
But there's a guy, a couple men that they found already a couple years ago, and they were on their begging in the street and followed them home.
Oh yeah. That's the main thing.
Mansion.
Nice part is.
Follow you home, y'all. So y'all, we have to be careful. We're of the world. We're in the world, but we're not of the world. Y'all, the protection that we have with the Most High, these things just go right around us. But our eyes, the reason they go around is because we already seen. You know, we don't tempt the Lord. We don't go into areas of danger we ain't supposed to be in to see if he gonna come to our rescue. You don't play with the Lord like that. If your children said, I'm gonna run out here and see if he gonna jump off that porch, keep reading that paper, I'm gonna run out into the street. No, what you do to that child? You playing with me, huh? No, you won't set foot out there no more when they get through with you. So in like manner, Most High said, don't play with me with evil. I don't tempt with evil. I'm not going to ever tempt you with evil. What you got?
At least scripts also go for like the government, people who depend on the government to why they need.
Well, that's why it's set up like that. We had that same system at home. It was called for the fatherless and the widows. That was our welfare system. So the problem is right now, that system has become a begging system for some. Like they just shut down the strip club because it was taking EBT calls.
Yeah.
You got the kids' money. Google it. Somebody Google it right quick. He up there hearing nothing like this. Yeah, I'm gonna make it drizzle today. $200 on this card. Yeah. Somebody Google it real quick. Strip club shut down for taking EBT calls. Once again, the eyes have went to another level. Where can I get some money? How can I make it rain? They're like, no, you don't make it rain like that. You can make it drizzle. In Ohio.
Food stamps for drugs and lap dances.
Food stamps for drugs and lap dances. Let's get back in this Job, y'all. We got to speed it up because I want to get into these testaments of the brothers. Go ahead. Where we at? Y'all, a lot of things coming out of Ohio, but they had that bestiality booth up there, a brothel. Yeah, to where you could go just pick out what you want. Oh. Ooh, look at that pig with that lipstick on. Google that if y'all don't believe what I'm saying. Shut down again in Ohio. Bestiality brothel. That was their version of The Bachelor. Hey, y'all, it's only funny because it's true. Let's read some more. Where we at, y'all? Let's get back into Job and finish this up.
In the book of Job, we at verse 23. For the destruction from God was a terror to me, and by reason of his highness, I could not endure.
See, if his destruction is not a terror to you, it's not that you to look at his destruction to make you get in line. It's for you to see, if I do this, that's what I face. It's not to scare you and make you do right because he'll do this to you. All right, like I said. Okay. Let's read some more.
Verse 24.
What it say?
If I have made gold my hope, or have said to the fine gold, thou art my confidence.
What are he talking about? Paper chasing, ain't he? If I have made gold my hope, and I can't do nothing without it. And y'all understand this, when you poor, that's easy to happen to you. If I can just get some money, I can do. If I can just get it, I can do right. But the bottom line is you got to move out of the way what got you in this position first. Then when you get that, you can make the moves you talking about. But if them same habits there, it's just like anybody win the lotto and the next thing we know a boy that parents got killed, he got $5 million, $3 to $5 million for them dying, been hit by a train. He wanted to be a drug dealer though. I'm talking about you could be anywhere you want to be. You could be amongst all, you be at the fight, you got legal money. But the eyes don't want you to see him as just, well, somebody wonder where he got the week in this paper from. Don't nobody know. His eyes wanted them to see him as the supplier, the chief chemical entrepreneur. Let's read some more.
If I rejoice because my wealth was great, and because my hand had gotten much.
And see, Job was the richest man in the East at this time. Let's read some more.
If I beheld the sun when it shined, or the moon walking in brightness, and my heart have been secretly enticed, or my mouth hath kissed my hand. This also were an iniquity to be punished by the judge. For I should have denied the God that is above. If I rejoice at the destruction of him that hated me, or lift up myself with evil found him, neither have I suffered my mouth to sin by wishing a curse to his soul.
See, you don't have to do that because you still ain't gonna be satisfied. You still won't be satisfied. If you could take judgment in your hand, you still won't be satisfied. You know why? Because he may have died too quick. You want him to suffer longer. It's like some people, they say, give him the death penalty or whatever else. No, I'd rather for him to do 50 years in there so he can see this. I don't want him, his date to come up tomorrow and then he get out of this. We want control of that. But you still won't be happy. If something happened to them, you still ain't gonna be happy. You still be talking about they've been in the grave for 20 years and you still talking about that. Yeah, man, that no good. Well, the scriptures say his memory, his love, his hatred is no more. He don't know none of what you saying about him right now. That's gone. That died with him. But if yours still remain, he ain't hearing none of that. What you gonna do, conjure up a demon? Yeah, go ahead and tell him, look, when I see him on the other side, I'm still gonna bury my foot up in his. Go tell him, demon. And he gonna wake him up. Hey, huh? He say he's still gonna put his foot on the other side of the new word. Oh, he ain't me like that. That's how crazy it would be. Just that crazy like that. Let's read some more.
Verse 31.
What it say?
If the men of my tabernacle said not, oh, that we had of his flesh, we cannot be satisfied. The stranger did not lodge in the street, but I opened my doors to the traveler.
And let's get this understood too. The order of Abraham, or who we call the hospitality king. And when you understand the order of Melchizedek, it talks about hospitality. And when you get into Wisdom of Solomon, 19th chapter, it talks about not only what was happening in Sodom and Gomorrah, but their hospitality was at a level low. You seen that in Jasher 19, how they greeted you when you come. You know, like when you go to another state crossing over, say, welcome to Missouri. And the first thing you see is a rest stop. You pull in there, you rest a little bit, and you see what the city has to offer. It's going to tell you everything. Don't go over here. It's jack moves over there. Keep it over here. It's safe. Your car windows will be still intact when you get all that's at the rest stop, where you're resting and reading about the city, and you go into it so you understand what to do. Abraham was like that. When travelers come through, the word is lodging. And no, where you look at lodging means 1 day, 2 days, at the most 3. You cannot put an individual up, especially grown people living in a house. There are borders now. You cannot, that's not lodging. That's not what Abraham did. You have never seen somebody, and after 30 years, the traveler was still there. The traveler had settled into an easy chair and his rear end print was in it now. That ain't in the scripture. Even the Good Samaritan story that y'all read, how many days did he put up for him when he took him to the hotel, when he bound him up, when the Levite passed him up and the other Israelites passed him up? He had been robbed and beat up. He was beat down, y'all. He was just laying on the side of the road. The Good Samaritan walked by, bound him up, cleaned his wounds up, and took him to the hotel. He said, look, 2 days. I'll come back through here. I'll stop through here. If he stayed any more than that, I'll pay you for that. But this 2 days and this a man laying on the ground beat up. So what you look like housing somebody for 30, 40, 50, 60 days? They part of the family now. That's not what Abraham did, y'all. Lodging, when you pass by, what it say? Lodging, how much per night? It's telling you the daily rate. Ain't nobody doing a month rate. Lodging, 30 days. That ain't out there. So y'all, when we see the word lodging, we understand what we are to do as a people. If somebody coming through, you just give them rest so that they can keep going. Even when, and if it wasn't for that, the people of the house would ask you to stay longer, like they asked Eliezer when he came to get Rebekah for Isaac. He said, my master Abraham told me I'm not to tarry. I just need to find this answer. Now look, he gonna be looking for me. Either she going or she ain't. And they looked at her, they say, you wanna go with her? And she looking at them Jewels. And she looked at them because he didn't come empty-handed. Each one of them bracelets, so many shekels. But when you add them up to today's gold market, each bracelet was 17,500. And she had on her wrist, and then the earrings were so many shekels. And then he gave silken garments to her brother, her mother, and her father. And she said, do you want to go with him? She said, yes, ma'am. And then she said, well, stay with us 2 more days. Let us, it's our baby. Let us stay. We want to don't just take it like this. And he's like, I can't stay. I have orders. I can't stay. So even from that perspective, even the same way Laban did it to Jacob, just stay a little bit longer, but he was working them because of what he was doing for him. It was trickery behind that one, but let's move on, y'all. Where we at?
Verse 33.
What it say?
If I covered my transgressions as Adam.
As who?
As Adam. By hiding mine iniquity in my book.
If I covered my transgressions as Adam, what transgression did Adam cover? Huh? What part did he do? Y'all remember the conversation? Because the Most High called all 3 of them out. Just like how you watch First 48, they separate everybody. He separated all 3 of them. The woman first. What's this? He beguiled. Oh, he did, huh? Okay. What was Adam? Okay, now it's his turn. Come in the room, get in. What to do? That I was cool. I was naming animals, and then you only give me that one. He hid his transgression in his bosom because he knew. Because what was the very next day for him? He said, "What I tell you, though? What did I tell you?" And then he knew he was wrong because he was hiding amongst the trees, the angels in the garden. He didn't have to look for Adam. Adam was easily to be found. Now he walking amongst the crowd like he ain't seen. Tap like this. Adam. He like, oh, partner, what's up? What's up? We like that? What you done did? It's just like the children. You know what they done done. Right. You ain't got them gators, them pair of pants, them lead mans, and that knick-knack working at the Burger King. What you into? Who clothes you got on? They don't pay that much. I've already been up there. I got your check. I went up there and got it. You work 20 hours a week at $2.45. Them shoes cost 10 years' salary based on this. Same way, y'all. Where we at? Read some more.
Verse 34.
And see a lot. Go ahead, bro. I'll make this point. Go ahead, bro.
Did I fear a great multitude, or did the contempt of families terrify me? That I kept silent and went not out of the door. Oh, that one would hear me. Behold, my desire is that the Almighty would answer me, and that my adversary had written a book. Surely I would take it upon my shoulder and bind it as a crown to me. I would declare unto him the number of my steps. As a prince would I go near unto him. If my land cry against me, or that the furrows likewise thereof complain. If I have eaten the fruits thereof without money, or have caused the owners thereof to lose their life, let thistles grow instead of wheat, and cockle instead of barley. The words of Job are ended.
See, and these are the words of Job ending basically his vow to the Lord. Y'all, when you make a vow to the Lord, you better be careful to pay it, because he's going to bring it back up to you. Remember when you said this. So yeah, let's move on, y'all, as we got to get on through this. James chapter 1. We'll start about verse 8, and then we're going to jump over to chapter 4, verse 7.
No, I'm going to go to 6.
James chapter 1, verse 8. James chapter 1, verse 8. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
What is it? What is this man? A what kind of man?
A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
He thinks you can't serve God and mammon. He thinks two ways. He sees two ways. It's double-minded. You know, 1 minute he on, the next minute he off. 1 minute he believe this, the next minute he on. This is the problem in a lot of households that where, you know, you have to be careful when somebody just first comes to you and say, well, she ain't on board with this. Well, wait a minute, let's do a little history on you. What were you before you found out about this? Oh man, I was down there at the mosque with the mug. What were you 2 weeks before that? Oh, I was with the Jehovah's Witnesses. What were you before this? I was a Catholic. Wait a minute. So she's got a pattern of you jumping ship every 30 days. I understand this, but you're going to have to walk this out. You're going to have to prove yourself that you're fully persuaded in your own mind, and this ain't going to last quick as the other side of midnight. You got to prove it, you know, and a lot of times you just won't. I found it this time. I'm telling you the truth. I done found the truth this time. No, this is a living experience. You find the truth when you get to the point you need to be at. You just don't find this today and you got it all tomorrow, because you're going to throw it away and be doing something else different, just like you did with them others. Let's read some more. Where we at?
Verse 9. Let the brother of low degree rejoice in that he is exalted.
Let the brother of low degree do what?
Rejoice in that he is exalted.
Okay.
But the rich in that he is made low, because as a flower of the grass he shall pass away. For the sun is no sooner risen with a burning heat, but it withereth the grass, and the flower thereof falleth, and the grace of the fashion of it perisheth. So also shall the rich man fade away in his way.
See, in his way, y'all, it ain't saying you can't be rich. It's just saying if you're not seeking the kingdom first, this means nothing to you, because if this go away, I'm cool. Look, Abraham had big paper, but when the money got thin and crops wasn't growing, he had to head to Egypt to do things. Jacob had to mount up his chain and head to Egypt, didn't he? When the 7-year famine was coming. Money was a defense because he had it stored just in case this happened. So it's not telling you you can't be rich. It's just telling you that if you paper chasing, it's going to fall to the wayside. And to keep it, you'll compromise your soul. For the love of money. It's not. A lot of people say, well, money is the root of all evil. The script never said that. It said the love of money is the root of all evil. So Mammon has laws on how to love money. Mammon, the god of money, has love, or what you call laws, that where you say, this why I paper chase, dog. My love for Mammon, and his rules say, nobody off limits on this paper chasing. If a kindergarten come by here, I want that lunch money.
Get rich or die trying.
Get rich or die trying. You start to hear those terms. Get rich or die trying. Come on now. Let's read.
Verse 11. No, verse 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation. For when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord has promised to them that love him. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of Yahweh. For Yahweh cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempted he any man.
Neither he do what?
Tempted he any man.
So if you hear somebody saying the Lord just tempted, y'all got to correct that immediately. He never tempts with evil. And then, well, how about telling Abraham to put his son on the altar? What kind of God to tell a man to kill his only son? Give it to him and then tell him to kill him. What happened to his son? What do you mean? What I said. What did he do with his only begotten? His son. I say he spared this man's son, had a ram in the bush for him. What did he do with his son? Get them on a new path right now, so that they don't put in your mind, you start thinking, yeah, that ain't right. That ain't right. Instead of you hollering, take me, Lord, instead of him. Take me, Lord. He don't deserve it. What?
You do.
You the judge. Take me. Some brothers I know tomorrow, put me down there with him. Take him out of that hole. Put me down there. And somebody just did him like that at the grave. Yeah, you better quit playing, bro. You better quit playing. Oh, okay. So them ain't real tears. Then. You really didn't want to go in that dark hole, did you? Where we at? James chapter 4, verse 7. Yeah, what we lining up is the depth perception. And then we're going to get into these 2 stories, y'all. We're going to go and close out. But where we at now is gaining steam for these eyes right here, because this is what you have to see. And I wanted y'all to understand that Job, what this man said, the richest man in the East could have had all the women he desired. All the women he desired. That would have been an easy task for him. But he like, no, I'm not here for that. I'm here for the poor, of the people that come by. He said, if any walk by and didn't have a shirt on, I got 10,000 sheep out here and I just showing them all. There's plenty of wool to make him a shirt. But he can't keep coming by here looking for a shirt. I can put him to work and have him showing his new shirt. Let's read some more.
James chapter 4, verse 7. Submit yourselves, therefore, to Yahweh. Resist the devil.
We do what to the devil?
Resist the devil. And he will flee from you.
See, that's not hard, y'all. What is resisting? How do you resist the devil? You do Matthew 4th chapter the same way the Messiah do. Look, the devil ain't coming just showing you wickedness. The first thing the devil do is show you the commandments of the Lord and then show you wickedness. Command these stones be made bread. Side one spiritual. Man shall not do what? Live by bread alone, but by what? Throw yourself off this cliff. He said he'll cause the angels to burn you up. Your feet won't even dash against the rock. I'm not tempt the Lord. I ain't gonna jump off of here to see. See, that's where the term daredevil came from. They are daring the devil. And the devil do what they ask. Parachute don't open up. And that ground is moving up like this. Fast coming up like this. And you hollering. Begging and pleading now. Too late. Let's read some more. Yes, ma'am. What's wrong with that baby? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which I said this to you, you say that when you set yourself steadfast, would you do that when he shows you what the word says in comparison to what your appetite is to go beyond? Well, so I'm steadfast, like I see a giant crane, when you're about to set something very heavy. They bring those great giant cranes, and it's first they have different sides, and they anchor it down on 4 sides, and then they take this tower
and build.
But then they anchor, they use that machine to anchor on the ground first on 4 sides, and then they go use the machine to go up.
Right.
But those 4 sides, that's an anchor, so that the machine doesn't tilt over.
Either way. Absolutely.
So would you say that we would set ourselves in that same type of vein, set ourselves in the word on that rock?
Yeah, we have to, all 4 sides. You have to see it from every direction. You know, that's why it's called the gospel, the good news. And that's why every time news come on, it's from the 4 corners of the globe. North, east, west, and south. It spells news. So that's where the gospel was supposed to go to. That's why it's called the good news. They're going to north, east, west, and south. So you have to be anchored from any way that they come in. If they come in from the south to attack, you got to be prepared for that and have armor up there. They can't get in from the north. That's fully persuaded. You're ready for any way that's come, because these scriptures talk about certain words in 100 different aspects. You know, the argument like about Joseph, the father, is does a virgin mean a woman that may have sex, or does it just mean a young woman, a woman that ain't never had sex? The problem, you still ain't covered Revelation 7 chapter. What about these male virgins? What does that mean? How does now a man be a virgin, and how does it apply to the understanding of virgin? Because they were not defiled by women. They are virgins.
couldn't clear it.
Had a partner used to ride me. I was about 14. Boy, you got a woman yet? Yeah, 2, 3. And he starts singing that Smokey Robinson jam. How can you love a virgin man? How can, and his partner chime in, I ain't no virgin, I ain't no virgin. But that's how they, boy, this Israel will torment you to death. But look what's tormenting me to do something I ought not been doing. Now my whole focus is not when I see them, they don't hit that Smokey Robinson jam on me. Here come the virgin. Let's read some more, yeah.
Verse 8, draw nigh to your house, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. Be afflicted, and mourn, and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning, and your joy to heaviness. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Elohim, and he shall lift you up. Speak not evil one of another, brethren. He that speaketh evil of his brother, and judges his brother, speaketh evil of the law, and judgeth the law. But thou judgest the law. But if thou judgest the law, thou art not a doer of the law, but a judge. There is one lawgiver who is able to save and to destroy. Who art thou that thou judgest another?
See, we can hold that, y'all, and what it's saying is, I'm not to say they're going to be judges in Israel. What we're talking about is pronouncing condemnation. That's the judgment. That's when you become a judge of the law and not a doer of the law. A doer, he's judging the matter because he done been down that walk. Partner, I do this all day. It ain't going to be hard for you. Believe me, it ain't going to be hard. There's going to be other doors that open up versus saying something that already got his feet in the lake of fire. And then it's saying not to be evil so much that you don't allow it to overtake you and you cross that proverbial line. Is that right? Well, I said that. I'm getting the words in. Yeah, the proverbial line. And what I'm talking about is to the point that you hate somebody. Guess what? If they ain't blaspheme the Holy Spirit, guess who may be the first one you see if you make it to the kingdom? You don't want to stop in your tracks like this. Damn, here? What happened between that time and this time? So your focus have to be on, if you say, I'm going to pray for somebody, what are you technically praying for them? If they're doing wrong and you say, I feel, but I'm going to pray for you, what is the prayer about? Is it that when you get in the kingdom, prayer work, bro, you here? Is it that, or will you be shocked? Nigga, what you doing in the kingdom? Wait a minute, I got to have some words with the Messiah. Who's saying the Messiah? This. No. Let's read some more. Revelation 3:16. Then we're gonna get into pull up the Testament of Ash. If any of y'all got the Lord's book, if not, we're gonna put it up on the board, y'all, because it's a very important, y'all, that we get into these testament of these brothers at the deathbed because they walked after their father gave them the commandment. And I'm talking about these brothers living 125 years and different things like that. And I'm talking about they give up the ghost knowing that they're going to die and prepared for it. No, Daddy, you ain't going nowhere. He like, look, already done got the message. I'm going to be gone. That's why I'm giving y'all instructions. What y'all think I'm gonna be doing here? And then a week later, I'm gonna just show up. No, I was just fooling y'all. I ain't going nowhere. No, Moses was told to die at 120 years old. His eyes was not dim, nor was his strength abated. He could still have a child, but he was ordered to go meet the death angel. About one slip of the tongue, y'all. One slip of the tongue. Must we fetch you water? So you already in the Godhead in this corruptible flesh, or you Moses? No, don't like your French. What is this weak stuff? It ain't the language. Let's read. Where we at? Revelation 3:16.
Revelation chapter 3, verse 16.
Hey, y'all got any of them shorties, y'all? We got the shorty room already prepared, diapers, everything back there. You know, if y'all need a little comfort time, y'all, we got that room right over there. That first room you come into, fixed up nice, y'all. So I'm just saying for anybody, if they shorties get a little rambunctious, so to speak, because we film, y'all. So we don't want the worldwide audience saying we couldn't hear it, babies was hollering. So we got a room for them, y'all, to let them holler loud as they want to holler. Good room set up. Okay. Let's move on.
Revelation chapter 3, verse 16.
What it say? 15.
Verse 15. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm, and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth.
See, the Most High say, be either on one side or the other. Either cash your chips. You can't rock two gods. You're going to be cold for one and hot for the other. And you in this world, so I know where your hotness is going to be. You got to make up your mind what you can't do. You can't serve two masters. You cannot be lukewarm. That's a fence ride. And any men out here that had a bike and foot slipped off the pedal, you don't want to be a fence rider. What you got, bro?
That's like leaving here this evening and going to the club. And I was talking to a brother.
Well,
trying to justify it, like, oh man, still go to the club. Like, what Christ doing in the club, bro?
Well, you always gonna have what the Pharisees said. This man can't be from God. Every time we see him, who would say he was around? Who would say the Messiah was always hanging around?
Prostitutes.
Gluttons, drinkers, alcoholics. This ain't no God friend, man. Every time we see him, he with this. Now, if you there, that's a fine line. If it's a club that where you know when you go up in here, these things are happening, it's like we had a brother that say he went in a strip club with his Bible. And we say, for what? I mean, what do you think they're gonna just stop the music and she just ain't gonna do the same tricks she doing on the pole?
They gonna all sit around Indian style.
I mean, she just gonna have the pole like this and just go like this. I mean, it ain't gonna get no rain money. But what I'm saying is, if you're doing that to fool somebody, but like, where do you go that wicked is not abounding? I'm understanding what you're saying. If you go to a spot that where wickedness abounded, but it's adult places out here that if you want to hear some music, you go there, chill, and go home. But if we start to say that every club you go through, that Satan put on his clothes and you just get wild, and we soon gonna see a video of you like this on the table with your shirt on. Hold that Hennessy in there. Next, these gonna be your drawers. And then it's gonna be on Facebook. So y'all, in like manner, when you start to say what's off limits, what is off limits? That's what I'm saying. Where do you go for just to have a night out? I mean, do you go just home? Or what do you do? And that's the question that's gonna always be asked. What do you do? Can you go and enjoy yourself here? Can you go, can you go where it's not been? Yeah. What we're looking for is talking about ignorant free zones. There's ignorant free zones out here, y'all. It's just the fact that we may say it ain't enough action there. And what does action mean? Y'all know what it means. Woman drop her purse and bend over, you can see her kidneys. That's not the place to be.
See-through dresses.
I mean, that's gonna cause a problem for this right here. You won't be, we talk about where you could focus. But if you go like, it's football season. It's football season. Where can we go to watch football if you're a football fan, not a fanatic? But it's gonna be warm, Budweiser there, and somebody gonna holler out something while you out there. So we have to be careful on what we say and where an individual can go. If they're going into the devil's den, then yeah, I understand clearly what you're saying. But every establishment, a lot of them, y'all, there's ignorant free zones. You may just have to make your way to them, but that's just a sacrifice for you to have a good time and you're able to get back in your car and come back home. So everyone, I mean, now when you saying hoochie club or, you know, dog dirty club, then that's a whole different story of what we're talking about, is if somebody's saying where they're going, because you still gonna have to be a light to those that are sick. They have to see when he come in here, he only had one drink and then he up.
If you can find it.
You know, don't do nothing, he just come. It's like he just wanna be part of the crowd and then he go home. If that's the report of you, there's no bad reports to come out, but this. Drawers in your hand, standing on a table. Yes, ma'am.
So what if that scripture applies that good evil?
Right, but we got to know what's evil. We got to say what's evil. We have to find out that there's evil in this place, you know, before you just go in there. If you know this place is where the youngsters bust your head with a bottle, when they put this song on, everybody rush the dance floor with a bottle, and you need not be at that club, or you got to make sure your medical card is up to date, because you going to the doctor. I mean, when you know they strapped in this club, don't go in there and if you step on their shoe, there's basically, y'all, we just boil it down there. There's ignorant free zones that where they don't know you're an Israelite and people watch each other's behavior that you did. There's places out there like that. So that's all we talking about. Because your light still have to shine. It's give me a little bit of this Matthew 5:47. Just a little bit there, y'all. We're gonna move on because I need to get caught up. You got that book of Ash up for me?
Yeah. Asher or Jash?
Ash, the Testament of the 12 Patriarchs. Give me 545 there, Matthew. Just read that real quick. What it say? And y'all, this is because if we just hang around each other, what we're gonna start to do is find fault in each other, because you ain't gonna have nothing else to do unless you understand as brethren. But your mission still gonna be, man, we got to go prophesy to these people. But what it say right there? What it say? Matthew 5:45.
Matthew 5:45. That ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven.
Back it up. Keep going though. Let me see where you at. Go ahead.
For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good.
See, we have to always remember that. The sun come up for the evil too, don't it? They got crop. Y'all, atheists make money. An atheist may have a home and a bank account. You ask God, why is he living like that? He don't believe in you. He maketh the sun to rise on both, because it's a point in time that where he's gonna have to acknowledge where he got. You think you got this from the God of nobody? You think that's where all this came from? Well, okay, we're about to see that. So he maketh that to rise. Look, we know how evil we've been. We say it all the time. Boy, the Lord shows with me. As evil as I was, I want to be dead. Mm-hmm. You know that. Let's read what it says.
And sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust.
Right.
For if ye love them which love you.
If you do what?
Love them which love you.
Right.
What reward have ye?
What reward do you, y'all, what we gonna run out right here if it's just this crew, and it's just this crew going somewhere, it's just this crew all the time. What reward do we have this, but we a tight little crew? What we gonna do? We ain't gonna let nobody in. Y'all go? Or y'all going to the baby room? Don't check it out. They got stuff in there.
She already pregnant, Daniel.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah. Where we at?
Revelation chapter 3, verse 17.
No, I want him to finish this Matthew 5. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do not even the publicans the same?
See, the publicans do the same. They hang out with each other. They click up together. And this don't mean be in affiliation with nobody else. But what it's saying is your light got to shine. You gonna run out of steam with your brother. Your brother already knows you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So if you just keep hanging in that same circle, what's gonna happen sooner or later is you're gonna start looking for faults, because it's just inside this circle. And then you're gonna start finding faults with your brother. Mm. And then your brother gonna find a fault with you. And then y'all gonna be game showing each other. No, nigga, what about this script? No, what about that one? And you see, and that's what it's gonna be. But when we get into these ashes, y'all gonna understand this perfectly what I'm saying, and y'all gonna have the depth perception of what I'm speaking of. You won't just see it right, what's right in front of you. You see what I'm speaking about down here, down this road that's waiting for us, like that treasure that we storing up. If you don't look at your bank account building in the kingdom, you wasting your time. If every time you click on your bank account in the kingdom and reds come up first, that's a problem, ain't it? That's zero balance. You got messages waiting. You owe this many fees and insufficient funds. We sent this back, you didn't have nothing in there. You don't want that for this. And you're not gonna just get it, it's gonna stay stagnant right there. Y'all get into some Matthew 25 and you understand it personally when it said, you know, what'd you do with that money I gave you? Oh, I hid it under a pillow because I knew you was coming back for it. No, you got to spread this. Y'all, if it stops right here, ain't no more spread. That's all I'm saying, bro. But if you go to an ignorant zone, you can't look to spread this gospel in an ignorant zone. You're not going to overpower that. Unless you kick that door in with power and fire and point to the poles and they start exploding. DJ records fly out and you point to the ball and you clear it out. Then that's a different story. But you sitting there watching all the action, what you doing?
With your Bible like that.
In a strip club? No, y'all, we ain't gonna play game. We ain't gonna tempt the Lord either. Where we at?
47.
What it say?
And if ye salute your brethren only,
right?
What do ye more than others?
What do you do more than others? If it's just about you, y'all, this ain't saying you join up with anybody. It's saying this thing has to grow from the gospel, not from no other way joining in and grow. It's gonna continue to grow. You're adding to the pot. You keep adding, turning a sinner from his ways, not joining sinners. That's right. You can't join sinners. You can't join the Masons because they don't know. What they're saying is we already know. We're doing it a different way. They're quoting the Bible. They're just quoting it from when Solomon failed. That's the only difference. It's one out there right now. Ishua turned me on to it. It's called Inside Freemason. It's on Netflix right now, 2017. I'm talking about y'all, they getting so in depth with, they say this is the first time we're gonna open the door, but they still didn't show the rituals with the rope around the neck and cutting out the tongue. You know, and guess what they was really laughing at? That stuff about goats, the goat stuff. And I'm talking about he's laughing hysterically. I'm like, that sounds like a laugh like you just got through goating. I mean, it wasn't that. I mean, you ain't laughing like that, like we making up something. I'm like, I wonder if you've been listening to Jacob. Goat riders, because they was hard on them goats. But when you see the layout of this and when they open the doors up for this wickedness, and the man is quote, vanities of all vanities. He's quoting Solomon. Why do you think they're quoting Solomon? One of their secret things is know if you make why are you whispering? 1 Kings 8. King Solomon, the seed of Judah, was a black man. I mean, what's the secret? Why are you whispering it to who? So it ain't like they don't know it. You can't be in league with that. That's the flip side of the script. Let's get it. That's a double-minded man. Want to be on two teams. Inside Freemasonry. It'll have 2017. It's on Netflix right now. Let's read some more, y'all. Where we at?
Do not even the public consult?
Yeah.
Verse 48. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect.
So we can hold right there. Let's get to this book of Asher, y'all. Give me the last chapter of that one, there. The last chapter of Asher.
Did you want me to finish this Revelation?
What's that next verse say? Yeah, go ahead. Hit that 17.
Verse 17. It says, because thou sayest, I am rich and increase with good, and have need of nothing, and knowest not that thou art wretched, and miserable, and poor, and blind, and naked? I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich.
See right there, so we can hold right there. That's what he say he want you. Try me, try gold tried already in the fire. This money gonna run out. You know why? Because you getting older and death is still on the table. P. Diddy's children's mama just died, 47 years old. All the wealth in the world. He's sitting on 700, 800, 900 million. Guess what? The death angel say, I can't be bribed. You know who just gave up the ghost? He say, look, Rockefeller just gave it up. They own all the gold in Fort Knox and half of Saudi Arabia and Russia. And he just died. I went and snatched his breath out of him. So y'all, this is all it wants you to say. You can get that wealth and you can think death is off the table, but it ain't. Even if you get enough money to live the rest of your life, what is your life expectancy? I'm saying, but how, if you got $20 million, how long do we expect to live with 20 million? Do you think it can make you live to 105? Some living to 105, but ask yourself right now, if every time you wake up and you walk to the bathroom and your foot buzzing like you got on a platform, you know all the money in the world ain't gonna get you to this age. You got some blood circulation problems. And y'all done all had that where your foot feel this thick on the bottom. What's going on? What's wrong? Yo, these are signs that these brothers we finna read about when they pull their feet up in the bed and say sickness came on them. One person said, my liver caused me. It said in Joshua 54, Jacob said he died, that disease jumped on Jacob. What was that disease? Didn't mention it, but it was death, wasn't it? Let's read some more. Where we at? In the book of Asher, the last chapter. And then we're going to move right into the book of Joseph. There's only 2 chapters, y'all. We're going to close out. But y'all just read amongst on the board. Can y'all see that who don't have it? Or y'all got 12 try? But bro, read so y'all can just listen intently. If y'all will, y'all can Google this. That's in the hospital? Yeah, y'all can Google this right now. The Testament of Asher. Y'all, let's use these smartphones for some things. You got them on you, let's use them.
It's a lost book out there.
If y'all got it out here, y'all don't have the lost books with y'all, Google it real quick. If not, we're gonna move on. Bro always put it up on the board, so if y'all want to get back at the rebroadcast, y'all can see it there too. But y'all, let's use these smartphones.
So you want me to go ahead and start?
Yeah, you can start. Is that the last chapter of it?
It's only one chapter.
Well, that's it then. Yeah.
All right, Testament of Asher. The copy of the Testament of Asher, what things he spake to his sons in the 125th year of his life.
So here 125. Now you read about Asher also in Genesis 49 when Jacob told Asher what his end would be for his children, looking down through the depth perception. Y'all think about this. Abraham giving the blessing, seeing a child and say 400 years, but they going into captivity. Could he see 400 years? How long was men living in? 120 was maxing out then, but he lived to 175, but he knew 400 years, I will not be around to see this. But he had to prophesy, we gonna go left field. Y'all, we gonna go left field. It's a long way to go. But his depth perception paid off, because on the Mount of Transfiguration in Matthew 17, when they went to Abraham's bosom, and it says also in the script, many shall come from the east and the west and sit down with who? Abraham. And where? The kingdom of the Most High. So his ink is there. He's already there. He never said that. And he never let those words come out of his mouth. They came after the tester was dead. Let's read. Where we at?
Hold on. And y'all, it's in the pseudepigraphers too. It's in the Testament of the Lost. The Testament of the 12 Patriarchs.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So it's in the pseudo and it's in the lost books.
Right.
Or you can just Google Testament of the 12 Patriarchs and go to Asher. All right, go ahead.
Verse 2. For while he was still in hell, he said to them, hearken, ye children of Asher, to your father, and I will declare to you all that is upright in the sight of the Lord. 2 ways hath God given to the sons of men, and 2 inclinations, and 2 kinds of action, and 2 modes of action, and 2 issues. Therefore, all things are by 2.
All things are by what?
2. One over against the other. For there are 2 ways of good and evil, and with these are the 2 inclinations in our breast, discriminating them. Therefore, if the soul take pleasure in the good inclination, all its actions are in righteousness.
See, now some will say that the 2 sides is yin and yang. Well, the only problem with that, one side is evil and one side is good. He said there's 2 sides of good and there's 2 sides of evil. So we have to be careful on what 2 sides of this we get on and what 2 sides come into your mind on the good side. You can't split them up 1 and 1 either. Well, I take a little bit from that and a little bit from the good, and I'll mix. No, you can't have gumbo. This ain't no gumbo doctrine. This is why y'all circle prayer is like gumbo prayer, because I don't know what he's thinking. If he's got his hands up according to scripture, I still don't know what he's thinking, but at least it's following the rules. I'm not in error. You know, but that's a hard thing. It's tradition. You just grab hands around the table, really. But the scripture again, though they join hand in hand, they shall not escape judgment, because a lot of people feel if this is a righteous man, if I grab his hand, then his righteousness will pass to me. Don't work that way either. Can't pass your righteousness to nobody else. It don't work that way. So y'all, this is why it's so important with instructions on everything that you do. Go ahead, bro. Hold on, yeah, one down, come to you, sis. Go ahead. You.
So you can't.
Sir Tom.
You say you can't pass no righteousness, right? So
well, I'm saying your righteousness.
So if I'm considered a righteous man, I can't pray and save my wife.
No. Well, listen to what I'm saying though. When you're saying I can't pray for somebody else, you have control according to Numbers 30th chapter about who's the head of the household. You can say what prayers go in, and I can do this. That don't mean you can pray her sins away. Like Job, he didn't try to pray his children's sins away. He prayed in case they have sinned. Lord, please have mercy on them. You know, but they still got to stand on their own. You can't pass that to nobody else. Hold it real quick. Just give me a little bit of Ezekiel 14:20. No, let me see, 20. Yeah, 14:20. Just hit that real quick. Y'all read 14:14, then 14:20. Ezekiel, real quick, y'all ain't got to change from this test. I just want y'all to get that understanding. Real quick, 14:14 Ezekiel.
Ezekiel 14:14. Though these 3 men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they should deliver but their own souls.
What should they do?
Deliver but their own souls.
Yeah.
By the righteousness, says the Lord God.
Now let's skip down to verse 20.
Verse 20. Though Noah, Daniel, and Job were in it, as I live, said the Lord God, they shall deliver neither son nor daughter. They shall but deliver their own souls by their righteousness.
See, so by their righteousness, a lot of times the Most High remember your righteousness and may have mercy on your son, but they're still going to be just. Solomon is still going to be just. The Most High didn't take Solomon's life. Solomon didn't go completely on the dark side. It said his heart was not fully toward the Lord as was his father's David. He had some leavening in there, a lot of it. And it said for this cause, it said the Most High didn't take breath from his body at that time. He will still be judged according to his works, but because of his father David, who passed the law to him, and the Most High visited him twice, it says his heart was not fully with the Lord. It may have been about, if it had dwindled down to 30%, but he didn't do what Saul did. And he didn't do what Ananias and Sapphira would held back a price and lied to the Holy Spirit. He didn't do what Judas Iscariot did. He didn't do that. Solomon didn't do that. But what he did was a great, a terrible sin. You know, and this for like a lot of people out there say we're not supposed to mention other gods. They, you know, they'll hear the scripture, you know, and say, you shouldn't let no other gods come out of your mouth. We're gonna have a problem with this whole Bible here because it mentions Beelzebub, Belial, Molech, how many times? So you can't read the scripture, you'd be reading like this, and they worship to the god of blank, and they gave incense to the god of blank. No, you just tell it. It said what it's saying is don't speak the name of them. Don't quote their instructions. Like we carry the name of the Most High. This is his name. It's his law, statutes, and judgment. When you go by this, people know automatically who you work. When you quote out of here, they say, that's the God of them Hebrews, ain't it? Because we're talking about his name. And it's authority. This is his authority that he come in. When you call the name of another God, you're going to be quoting their words. And you'll be quoting what's in this book and that book, and that's mentioning now the name of the other God, and that'll fascinate some people. With what's going on right here, YouTube, people ears are itching. Boy, I'm talking about to itch them off when they hear something. What that sound? And how you listening to anything and it didn't cut prophecy out? Could this man be that? I'm telling you, he's the Antichrist. If he's the Antichrist, either we so far along in prophecy and we ain't realized. Y'all, do y'all know we mud 10 toes deep into tribulation if this man is the Antichrist? You got to have this many days go. So we got to get all of these prophecies inside of this amount of time, have a temple built, have a ceremony. And you're saying that this, some things you have to just say, no, bro, that just push you too far and too fast. If you don't account for the prophecy. You know, that's going to always be a stumbling block if you don't account for the prophecy. Got a brother out there now talking about all of white Israel or the Israelis or the northern tribes of Israel. Gonna still be a problem. I don't care what they doing like we doing. They don't fulfill Deuteronomy 28. They ain't gonna never fulfill it. The Holocaust will never be Deuteronomy 28. Yeah. It will never even come close to that. They've been rewarded for it. They still putting people in jail for it. They thrive, and their name was never changed. They changed their own name. Trump's name was Drunks. That was his original name. He changed it to Trump. Every one of them so-called Israelis changed their own last name. What Theo Washington come from? Off the plantation. That's somebody else's name. Nobody else's name would change. They're not fitting. I don't care what it looks like right here. A little do what?
11, hold on.
You can't leaven out Deuteronomy 28. It's precise. Where we at?
Verse 6.
You had something, sis? Go ahead.
I want to submit that word that was said, that inclinations on both sides. So would you say that because the inclinations on both sides, that urge natural urges? So with the scripture that says that we're to baptize ourselves in the word.
Right.
So in the baptizing, we're submerging ourselves spiritually, mentally, emotionally, the whole thing on the side of which baptizes our urges. We turn our urges toward the Creator.
Right.
Instead of our, so would you say that those are the two urge inclinations, or the two sides, or something to say that you have Satan on one side and
Right, that's saying it's one and one.
So would you say that?
No.
Or would you say that the urges of the sin nature of man bowing to that with the inclinations is what I'm asking.
Well, see, and when we're saying sin nature, the nature of sin only come on you when you start practicing wickedness. But shaping in iniquity is a different thing. That means that I have corruptible flesh and I can't get away from this after what Adam and did. That don't make me a sinner. What that means is this sin, because of the sin they committed, this is going to wax old like a garment, and worms are going to have the mastery of it, no matter how righteous you are. This is set and marked to die, but not that soul that dwells in it. It's just corruptible flesh. It's like a shirt you wear. Pretty soon it get thin under the arms and thin in the elbows, don't it? And a hole find its way in there. That's the same with this flesh. Even though it's a new shirt, you keep wearing it, it's gonna get a hole in it. But what the Most High have for us, when you get on both sides of his, that garment never wears out. It's set for everlasting. It's an everlasting garment. It don't wear out. It's wear out proof. Ain't no warranty on it. You don't have to worry about it wearing out. The shoes don't wear out. None of that wear out. And we got a sample of it in the wilderness. But what we want to do, go back to that stove where garments wax old. And then we get to the point that where we like it so bad, we'll go to the Gap and buy jeans with holes in them. Now, wait a minute. I'm going to pay this for jeans with holes in them. Hell, I could have kept them jeans from the 2nd grade. I still could fit them. What we at? Yeah.
Verse 6.
But this going to clear it up, sis. Go ahead.
Therefore, if the soul takes pleasure in the good inclination, all its actions are in righteousness, and if it's sin, it's straight away repentant.
See, and that's the two sides. That's how you keep the law. It's introduced to you. Keeping the law don't mean you will never break one. It means, what do you do if I break one? I repent. That's the first thing. And that means I turn myself away. First, I ask for forgiveness so I can get mercy. To repent, to be able to breathe another day, to turn from that transgression. On the other side of that too, would say, ain't no recovery plan. He's not in the recovery plan business. Whatever Satan does for you where it may seem good is almost like tricking a dope dealer. You make all this money killing people with heroin, but on Thanksgiving, you give out turkeys. What's going to happen on the next day after that? He's back in business to the same thing, ain't he? So that's that side of it. That's that good side that they think they're doing good. But on the flip side, this what you doing. You killing and trying, or you only saving a life so they can buy tomorrow. Sooner or later, they got to eat. So you just feeding them to spend more dope money. That's that 2 and 2 on the Satan side. What you got, brother?
It's like you do have two sides of like I said, two sides of it. Whatever you feed is what is going to take over. If you feed the spirit, then your thoughts will be righteous. If you study and consecrate yourself in the word, your righteous spiritual side will take over until it becomes your nature.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about the other side because your mind is not there. You're not telling your thoughts or your actions. So it's about what you feed, what you nourish. Whichever side you nourish. If you're a righteous person, you're going to nourish the righteous side.
That's right.
That's what you do consistently. That's defined you. If I play baseball one time a year, I'm going to be a baseball player. I just played it one time a year.
That's right.
But if I play consistently all throughout the year, then I'm a baseball player. See how that, you know what I'm saying? So if you sin, transgressing on one time, because if you do fall sometimes.
Yeah, you do.
Then, that's, it'll make us sin. Don't wake up saying, hey, I'm going to go out and rob somebody.
Right.
The mastery of this.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. But look, y'all, we can get into 1 and 1, 2 real quick, even knowing the word. When you hear somebody that pulled off a daring robbery and got caught. Like all of us with the ATM robbery here, where the dude sent his gal out to Walmart at 2 o'clock in the morning with a stack $2,000 worth of ATM money. And she ain't out there, she out there balling like it's legal money. 150, 200, and they looking like she still got a band on that at 2 o'clock in the morning. She buying luggage. They tipped them off. We think we got the ATM rob up in there tonight. Why would you go do that? You ain't worried about luggage. But see, that's me thinking. They should have woke up black Mexicans. They should have been gone. But that's me thinking for them out of there. They planned the robbery and didn't plan the escape. He riding around on page with $600,000 of ATM money in his trunk. And everybody says, damn, man, that nigga's stupid. Is he stupid, or are you now thinking how you would have got away with it, but you still would have been doing like this everywhere you go. You know why? Because there's only a certain amount of money you can spend before the government start looking. The only thing you can do is eat and go shopping. That's all dope dealers do. Eat and go shopping. Country Buffet love dope dealers. Oh, y'all, come on, y'all. We're going out to the Country Buffet. It's on me today. We're going today and tomorrow. You need some new shoes, we're going shopping. But buying a car, you cannot stack a Porsche, a 80,000 Titan, them traveling vans, and park them in front of Big Mama house living on Wellston, and she on Social Security. You think you fooling the government? I'm gonna put it in Big Mama's name. Big Mama get $287 a month. And it's a Porsche out there with diamond studded rims, and you think you fooling the government. And she the last house in Kinlock. Y'all, we ain't gonna be foolish with this. Go ahead, where we at?
Verse 7. For having its thoughts set upon righteousness and casting away wickedness, it straightway overthroweth the evil and uprooteth the sin.
See what it does when you repent, when you fall down and get back, it uprooteth the sin. Because repenting means to turn away from. It ain't like I'm gonna get better. It's like it has to be gone. That's when, bro, when you saying, can you pray for your wife and she get in? It say if your eye offends you, pluck it out. Now this on your own body. Right. If you a single man and you can't keep looking, there's a lot of men who are pedophiles. They ask to be castrated. That still ain't gonna stop for what's up here. What they're saying, it'll stop the physical act. But up here, I'm still thinking it. So they still behind the 8 ball. They ain't fixed it like the Messiah is saying. See, they only cut that off, but they still have an avenue to sin. It's like, you know how they I hear this a lot, how they say some men will throw away all their porn, but still got it on a flash drive. Got to throw it all away. I hear that a lot. let's read on, y'all. Go ahead.
Verse 8. But if it incline to the evil inclination.
If it does what?
Incline to the evil inclination.
Right.
All its actions are in wickedness, and it driveth away the good, and cleaveth to the evil, and is ruled by Beliar.
Who is it ruled by?
Beliar.
See, that's the son of Satan. So now we got another driver in there. Now you got bipolarism. This driver take over for you every time you break the law of God. Here he is to pick you up with evilness instead of righteousness. It's like when he say, if I hide my transgression in my bosom like Adam, like the first man, he had transgression, he hid. He didn't even mention Eve. He mentioned Adam. If I hide my transgression in my bosom, in what's closer to me in my mind, in my heart, I hid mine. How you gonna hide it from the Most High? See, now he done went over really to the dark side. Now he gonna blame the Creator. I was cool till you gave me that woman. No, you wasn't, Adam. I seen how you was looking when them animals would procreate. I watched you. And to keep you from wanting to procreate with them, I gave you a woman. But just like the script say, and he brought the woman unto the man, walked her down the aisle like fathers do, and gave her to Adam. It was his daughter. Even though it came from Adam, that was his daughter. And they got married in front of all the trees in the garden, which were the angels. And Satan and his partners was there too, the tree of good and evil, right after the wedding, before the honeymoon started. Look, he's secondhand. I know you done heard about me, Mr. Blaine. Y'all, when you say good girls love bad boys, that didn't start yesterday on Hollywood Housewives. This started in the garden. Well, good girls love bad boys. Because Paul speak about in 2 Corinthians, he said, I need to be a chaste virgin, I want to present y'all to the church as a chaste virgin, not as Eve was, who Satan beguiled. He take it all the way back to the beginning. That's how the church need to present it. No spot or wrinkle. And y'all done seen all the commercial spots. Anybody show up wrinkly at an event? Y'all know how people look at them? Y'all seen that one commercial where that dude that V-neck is turned to a U-neck and he trying to straighten it up? Boy, that tickles me. Right, how do you laugh at that every time it come on? That tickles me to death because he was ready to talk some naughty nothing and order up the bed. And she said, "You look quite comfortable." And he looked down. Well, let's move on, y'all. Let's read some more. We got to get out of here. Go ahead.
It says, even though it worked what is good, he prevented it to evil. He perverted it to evil.
Right.
For whenever it beginneth to do good, he forceth the issue of the action into evil for him, seeing that the treasure of the inclination is filled with an evil spirit. A person then may with words help the good for the sake of the evil, yet the issue of the action leadeth to mischief. There is a man who showeth no compassion upon him, who serveth his turn in evil. And this thing have two aspects, but the whole is evil. And there is a man that loveth him that worketh evil, because he will prefer even to die in evil for his sake. And concerning this, it is clear that it hath two aspects, but the whole is an evil work.
See, is a man that loves the evil work like for instance, you know somebody cool partner of yours, cool, but they selling dope. They got the whole South Side locked down. But he a good dude, man. But what he doing?
Breaking the law.
What he selling? He a good dude, but and so you tend to override that good dude, and you don't want to see that bad part of that happening. You know, I can't really, man, it's the part. That's going to plague you whether you believe it or not. That's still going to always be, you have to explain him being a good dude, but the question going to be, but he's selling dope, ain't he? Ain't he selling dope?
He's giving good prices, though.
Yeah, he giving good prices. Look, it's like God selling crack to his mom. Look, I'd rather she get it from me than one of them niggas on the street. Well, when you go to jail, what is she gonna be doing then? What reports you gonna get in jail? Huh? Y'all know how graphic it get out there. And what he gonna do? Shake the bars and rattle. You tell them niggas when I get out of there doing that to my mama, cause she didn't have no money to buy no more crack, I'ma kill all of them.
You got a 30 ball.
Baby, mama gonna be dead. Let's read some more.
Verse 13.
What it say?
Though indeed he have love, yet is he wicked who concealeth what is evil for the sake of the good name. But the evil of the action tendeth unto evil.
So you can sell all the dope and give turkeys out on Thanksgiving. What is that doing? Everybody looking like this. Look, and this is not only on that side. I'm talking about spiritual wickedness as well. Do you know what was the mayor of Florida down there that gave a wrong way, Hulan Mitchell, the keys to the city down there in Florida? Because he was saying he was God and rehabbed them projects and said it was the kingdom of God. Rehab projects. And he killed most of Israel to gain control of it. But yet he was given the key to the city. Y'all look it up. It's a book out there about him called Brother Love. When we was doing radio back in the late 80s, we had a bro come on and he said, this man y'all talking about, this Messiah, he's here on earth right now. Jacob said, who? What's his name? Yeah, he said, oh man, Hulan Mitchell, the son of Mamie and Hulan Senior Mitchell, Sister Mary Own Price, the opera singer, that Negro, and from Enid, Oklahoma, you said, yes. He said, you high as the cost of living. He said, you go down to the library right now and get a book called Brother Love. And when you get down there and you open it up, then call me back. He said he went down there and he sat in front of the library for 2 hours, kept putting money in the meter. Scared to go in, went in. Oh, yes, sir. Do you have a book called Brother Love? Yes, it's in the aisle and it's, damn, it's here. And when he pulled it out, and in there he's sitting with that fur coat and fur hat on with his leg crossed with some platforms on in a wicker chair. That's the same as the Regal room we used to go to back in the day. Take wicker chair photos. That's the same book in there where he's scratching out a member tomorrow. He's putting him out of the book of life. Right. And Kmart on the mark. He scratched through. Just Google it, Brother Love. And you see that he got it at home. I mean, all the photos in there, he was giving the keys of the city. So even on the spiritual level, he's selling spiritual dope from the dark side.
The book is about a guy who was
Hulan Mitchell. It's about Yahweh ben Yahweh. His whole life story. He was a Muslim.
Yeah, he claimed to be.
He was a Pentecostal. His parents are Pentecostal. Jacob used to call his mom. Why does he, baby? I don't know why that boy doing that. They were Pentecostals first. Then he joined the Air Force. And then he was a Muslim, but they kicked him out of that because they said he was looking over in other stalls. Other urinals. Yeah. I mean, they saying he peeing and they don't hear nothing. He just keep going where somebody else goes. And you know them look, y'all know, you better not look. You look straight ahead.
Straight ahead, boy.
It ain't gotta be no walls up there. You don't look. You don't even talk and look. You just look straight ahead. Yeah, dog. That's what I'm saying. Yes, sir. But you better keep looking straight ahead. But the Muslims sold him out for homosexual tendencies. Yeah, that's where he got the term. He was Moses Israel at first. And then they said, he's like, damn, they believe anything. Shit, I might well take this up to the next level. All them son. He's like, okay. He's like, damn, all of them dying to be somebody's fool. Well, I'll do it. I'll lead them astray then at this point. And that's what we're talking about, even on that level, and giving the keys to the city so all the others, like, this must be God. They done gave him the key to the, wait a minute. What does he need the key to rehab projects for? What's wrong with y'all, Israel? Let's read.
But see, the killer part about that is wrong way been wrong way. Yeah. And Ben-Ami Carter was on the earth at the same time, claiming to be Yeshua. And what neither one of them calling the other one out.
At the same time.
Yeah.
You do your thing over there, dog.
Right. I do mine over here. And look, we had a video of him and Farrakhan in the warehouse in Florida holding each other hands up like this, Farrakhan and Hulan. You think a Jew and a Muslim can't get along? You better look ahead. You better look ahead. And they clap and feet. A Jew and a Muslim get along. These both y'all Israelites.
Right.
Your name Hulan Mitchell and his name, Farrakhan real name is Lewis Walcott. Lewis Walcott, the calypso player. He plays a violin like a perfectionist though. Lewis Walcott. Y'all both off the slave plantation. What you mean a Jew and a Muslim? But that's Hebrew and Muslim Christianity. Right. Still, you come out of that, but you're still doing the same exact practices.
What was the benefit of the Million Man March?
And guess who?
Wow, I still ain't figured that out yet. What was the benefit?
Right. Look at this.
Did we come up? Did we stop getting killed?
No. Look, and guess who introduced Farrakhan? Guess who introduced Farrakhan at the second Million Man March? Ben-Ami Carter, who's supposed to be the Messiah. He said, I give to you His Excellency, the Honorable Louis. Now, wait a minute. You supposed to be the Messiah of the world, and you introducing a philosopher as His Excellency? And yet over in Demona, they still believe, Ben-Ami, Ben-Ami, Ben-Ami. Y'all, these eyes are so blinded right now, they cannot see the depth perception. They cannot see the end of this man doing these things. Why would our Messiah introduce who we bang heads with every day? The Muslims. Why would he introduced the moon god worshiper as his excellency, who says the Messiah was not born in Bethlehem, but in Sandersville, Georgia. And his real name is Elijah Muhammad. Let's finish this, y'all, so we can get caught up, y'all. We're going to finish this last one because we're going to roll through Joseph. Go ahead.
Verse 14.
What it say?
Another stealeth, docketh unjustly.
Doeth unjustly.
You say what?
Another stealeth.
Another, what they say, docketh unjustly. Do it. I don't know why I got a C in this one. Do it unjustly. Plunder it, defraud it, and withal pitieth the poor. This too hath a twofold aspect, but the whole is evil.
See, it's a twofold aspect. It's like they got wickedness over here, but then they do a good deed. On that twofold aspect, it still ends up being evil. Even though they did a good deed, it still end up being for an evil cause. What you got back there now?
Job 14:4.
What it say?
Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean?
Yes, sir.
Not one.
Not one. That's what he's saying right here. Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean thing? You cannot make swine good. I don't care how you dress it up. Pig feet pie ain't gonna never be like sweet potato pie. Never.
They talking about clean chili.
Right, clean chillins out of clean. If you done clean them, clean ain't supposed to smell like shit. Is it? It's clean supposed. Look, I done got clothes out the dryer and smell the rear end and they smell good. You can smell the earth. But if I've been wearing jeans 3 days in a row and it's been hot outside and I iron that funky and I smell the rear of them jeans and I say, they cool. As soon as I sit down like this somewhere, that funk gonna rush up. Somebody done lost their mind. Who can bring us unclean? Put them jeans in the wash, and you can always tell because they shining like a freshly minted quartz. That's why they done put starch over and ironing them jeans. Again, ironing is sweat and rear end stink. I'm gonna kill him tonight, though. Yes, you are. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 15.
What it say?
He who defrauded his neighbor
he that do what?
Defrauded his neighbor provoketh God, and sweareth falsely against the Most High.
See, he that provoketh his neighbor. And the problem, so you can't cause an event, for somebody to be defrauded. You can't do that and then say, God gonna get you. That's a setup, boo. That's a plot. Go ahead, bro. What's that, bro?
And yet pitieth the poor.
And yet do what?
Pitieth the poor. The Lord who commanded the law, he set it at naught and provoketh, and yet he refresheth the poor.
So yeah, he pitieth the poor. He act like I'm really on the lookout for this, y'all. You know the poor, and when you do for the poor. Like I say, that beggar situation, if you see the same people out there time and time again, and you done gave to them once, you're not commanded, that don't mean the poor you have always with you. The poor is always going to be looking for a way so they can give back. Just like we read Proverbs 6:30. It said he must repay sevenfold. That sevenfold is because the apples, you can't despise them, though. Go and eat them apples. Every apple he ate got to be 7 of them returned when he get on his feet. But it said if he steals to satisfy his soul, look, the life is more than the rain. So if somebody you look out the window and somebody in your apple tree and they eat an apple and spinning it like it's a ear coin, you like, he hungry. That's hey, don't come back around here no more. Get them 2 over there and go on about your business. But if he go get his friends, I know where apple tree at. Hell, we did it when we was young, didn't we? You look out. Mr. John's gonna look out this window and we're gonna jump the fence again. That's stealing at that point. That's not to satisfy your soul at that point. You done found an apple tree and you got away with eating one. Now you done brought your buddies back. And this is what's happening on every street corner. They bringing their buddies now on the street corners. you work 270 in West Florissant, and then we'll switch up. We'll go down here, and then we'll switch the deal, and I'll work this corner. Now, if he get out there and the Most High just put a blessing on, if you had some galoshes and a shovel, you could have made out handsomely with the work that the Lord provided with the snowstorm. Wet snow, so it wasn't gonna be hard to shovel. It's gonna scoop right up. You didn't even have to put down salt. And the next day it was 50 degrees and melted the rest. But that was a $300-400 day if you got out there early. You need this cleaned out before you go to work, but you got to get up early. You can't be like, is it snow like they said? And you look out the window and the snow that melted everything. Damn, I thought they said it would be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 inches. What happened? You were asleep. People go to work, they get ready at 6, the cars are warming up. 6:30. You need to be shoveling that out so they can bag out and won't be late. You can't do this at 1:35. What is snow? Snow gone. But that's a money maker. The same way with the fall. The season's always gonna make sure you get a little change in your pocket. You're gonna be some leaves. There's not enough grass cutters or lawnmowers on planet Earth. All the lawnmowers on planet Earth wouldn't take care of all of West County. It's too much grass to cut. Grass continues to grow till it's commanded to stop. And it's commanded to stop at the winter season. It stops. It's slowing down now. And then it stops. Just like a lot of us froze used to be this big. As you get old, they start stopping. And some of us just stopped right in the middle. You just had that Larry Stooges. You just hurled the side. Oh. I was going to even you up. Go ahead. Let's get it, y'all. Come on, y'all. We got but half hour.
Verse 16.
What it say?
He defileth the soul and maketh gay the body.
Right.
He killeth many and pitieth a few. This too hath a twofold aspect, but the whole is evil. Another committed adultery and fornication, and abstaineth from meats. And when he fasteth, he doeth evil, and by the power of his wealth overwhelmeth many. And notwithstanding his excessive wickedness, he doeth the commandment.
See, so a lot of times wickedness is done, and you're keeping that commandment, but this one is gone left unchecked. And because of your wealth, you get away with doing wickedness, like Donald Trump. Everybody else been reeled under the carpet, but he's on film saying you can grab them right here. You can grab them right there. They love it. There's nothing they can do. This is power. This is money that where you just look at a woman and you can say, I can touch her or grab her anywhere I want to. See, he's not, because of his position, because he can't be tried and sent to jail on federal charges. Now they get him on state charges, but what he did is no different than what P.O. Cosby was doing. P.O. Cosby. Drink that. Now you got 300 million and you Mickey Fanning? Yeah, I'm going to get your career started. I'm going to get your career started. This is what this talking about, y'all, that we see every day. Let's read some more.
It says this too hath a twofold aspect, but the whole is evil. Such men are her.
What are such men?
Her.
A rabbit. Go ahead.
Clean, like those that divide the hoof, but in very deed are unclean.
See, and you can't make a rabbit clean, even though a rabbit, divided the hoof, but it has to be another thing. You have to chew at the cud. Right. So it chews the cud. It's saying nothing like the rabbit, or it's just saying like the camel, though it divided the hoof or whatever, but it don't chew the cud, or it had the two righteous points have to go together. There's catfish that has fins, but it has no scales. You cannot make it have scales. It's not going to grow scale. it ain't gonna never be good. It's a doo-doo eater. That's what it was designed for. It's a good work though, because it makes sure your buffalo and your jack salmon and your tilapia is clean, because it was designed to eat doo-doo. Now, when you throw that on your plate, it's just like you talking about, I clean these chitlins. Doo-doo been passing through chitlins for that pig's whole life. How do you scrape that clean?
Evidently with these teeth.
Yeah, yeah, because if those show don't be none left. Go ahead, bro, read on.
Verse 19.
What it say?
For God in the tables, the tables of the commandments have thus declared, but do not ye, my children, wear two faces like unto them.
Do not do what?
Wear two faces.
See, that y'all, what the term we used to have back in the day? What we used to call back in the 70s? What would you call, man? That two-face. What that mean, y'all? This, everything comes out of the scripture. Two-face. That means 1 minute he's saying this, the next minute he way over here with it. He two-faced. He's double-minded. Read some more.
But do not ye, my children, wear two faces like unto them, of goodness and of wickedness, but cleave unto goodness only, for God hath his habitation therein, and men desire it. But from wickedness flee away, destroying the evil inclination by your good work.
By your what?
Good work.
That's what make evil fly away is your good works. That'll drive evil out of there. They don't want to be around. Let them say, oh, you think because y'all go down there make you right. Well, at least I'm trying.
That's right.
Staying over here ain't gonna get it done. Come on, go with me. No, see, sometimes people could worship the Bible. Okay, I'll let you later.
It says, but from wickedness flee away, destroying the evil inclination by your good works. For they that are double-faced serve not God, but their own lust.
But they serve who?
Their own lust. So that they may please Beliar and men like unto themselves.
But please Beliar and men. That's who they worried about, please. Some people don't join in on complete evil, but they may be opportunists in the world. What you saying? All the women we want. No, I ain't gonna wear them hexagrams. No, I ain't gonna wear that, but you say extra women. That's an opportunist. I ain't gonna get into the mud too deep, but still playing himself because Satan don't care. He like, you ain't gonna play with me and get away with it. Let's read some more.
Verse 22. For good men, even they that are of single faith, though they be thought by them that are double-faced to sin, are judged before God.
See, single face, that's what we're talking about, that single eye, judging a matter on both sides. You're hearing both sides of a matter, and truth is weighing out. You're not leaning toward one side, or you're not being favorable to one side, or there's no money involved with this side. It's the law of the Most High. Like I said, when Nathan went to David, and he just asked him a parable, this man gave him two sides. This man had many lambs. This one had one that grew up with him, the wife of his youth, so to speak. This man that had many took heed. David said, what that man at? I know you talking, this is a living book. I know who you talk. You talking about somebody, where he at? It's you. He didn't care about David being king. And you know David men probably rushed the prophet Nathan. He probably, hold on. The Lord know about this, huh? He's like, yeah, the Lord know. But he already forgave you because he know where your heart at. What's my damage? He gonna tell you about it. He gonna tell you personally, David. That child can't live. Them according to the rules. You done had a child in adultery. It can't live. That's why it wasn't circumcised. It died on the 7th day. The 8th day, the commandments say he would have had to be what?
Circumcised.
But that child, but David knew that child had nothing to do with that. He didn't ask to be caught up in that. That's why David said at the end when he got through fasting, he said, he ain't coming back here, but I should do what? Go to him. That ain't the lake of fire, is it? No, he talking about that child will be in the kingdom. He didn't ask to be caught up in that madness that David did. What else am I seeing, Lord? The sword ain't gonna leave your house. This act you done gonna be done before all Israel. And his favorite son had all of his concubines, every one of them. David just shook his head, and no, Absalom was supposed to be dead, because at that point he's a what? A what? The man that lied with his father's wife had done what? So what is he? A MF. That's his son. Cursed be that. And his top general said, you know, I got to kill your son. Man, come on now. And he trying to take over the throne. I got to kill your son. Please, man, don't. That's Absalom, man. That's my boy. That's my favorite, man. Absalom is dirty. Absalom got to go. And he killed David's son and told him, I killed your son. His afro got caught in the trees. And he was hanging there, and I cut his throat. I killed your son that slept with your children, that killed your other son for raping your daughter. And guess what? The sword still can't leave Israel until the second coming. That's why Chicago is like it is. That's why St. Louis like it is. That's why East St. Louis like it is. That's why we keep killing like we doing for that one very act when the king of a nation pull these stunts. Downhill it go. Let's read some more. Yes, ma'am.
So that's where when a man sins, he doesn't realize that when a man sins, that is 4 generations down, their teeth.
Well, it all depends on the sin.
On age.
Right, right. Y'all know you're speaking of the, say this proverb is not going to be in Israel no more, Jeremiah 31. I know what you're speaking of, where the fathers have sinned and the children's teeth are on edge. Mm-hmm. What she talking about is like Alexander the Great, those sour candies, they sweet and sour. What it means is the father have eaten the sour grapes. Mm-hmm. They enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. But we get this bitter part. So what they doing, they don't get that, we getting this. I'm sour. That's what we getting going through slavery because of what they did. But we can't be judged by what they did. We're only going to be judged by what we do after we find out what they did. And what did you do after that? Did you do what they did? So when you get into all Ezekiel 18th chapter, it breaks down if the son don't do what the father do. Shall not it be counted as righteousness? Yes, it should be counted as righteousness. So that lets you know that because of what your father did, we're not suffering, so to speak, from their sins. That's the repercussions of their sins. But he made it still a good life for us if we do right. But it's going to keep in mind what happens if we do wrong. It's going to be always right there. Remember what your forefathers do. Remember what your forefathers did. And we have to pray for our ancestors' sins so we don't repeat them. Let's read some more, y'all. Let's finish this up.
So does that mean today, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So
good question.
Today, we have to watch, even if we don't have children or some men don't have children right now, the lifestyle that they live, that we taught that what they do will give repercussion on their children.
Absolutely.
And their children. It's not just that the young man says that he goes into courthouse for black words, and all the things that he does, his children, if not repenting and genuinely repenting of those sins, then that same thing will come upon the children.
Yeah.
That's why some people say, "Oh, my mom did this, my dad did that." I remember this.
Yeah.
I always do that, and I see my son over there. Not my son.
Right.
But I see.
Right.
And he looks just like my grandfather. Oh, what did he do? And I see he has those same traits.
Well, right. And it's not him reincarnating. I would say that's reincarnation. You know, so all he did is just genes usually jump to the other. Like there's a scriptures out there that the tribe of Dan or the so-called Ethiopian Jews read called the Nagad Kadesh or whatever. I may be saying it wrong, but it breaks down Solomon, and it said that Menelik the offspring of Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, when he went back, they thought it was Solomon in Jerusalem. They like Solomon, and when he stood up and Solomon saw him, he looked like my daddy. He looked like David. So the grandson always looks like the grandfather. So it skips that generation. So that DNA comes back like that, but it's not that individual. He may have the same spirit, but he don't have the same soul. His ways may be like his granddad. He like a little old man, just like such and such. But you have to be careful because Satan will sneak reincarnation in there on you like that and say, well, he was born 2 days after his grandfather died. That's your grandfather all over again. Well, that'll stretch down to a dog too. When Duke died, your favorite dog been with the family for 30 years and he finally died. A dog living that long, 30 times 7, what's that? This dog is that many years old in human life, he dead. And then all of a sudden your wife have a baby 2 days later and the baby howl like the dog. Crying like this. You like it, that's Duke. Duke that came back in that baby. Baby Duke. No, we have to just be careful. That would easily get in there.
So that's why when we say that our children have old souls,
yeah,
we have to watch those words.
It's just the spirit. He give it the spirit to man, then he take it back and give it to somebody else. He don't do souls like that. Like Elijah had the spirit, John the Baptist had the same spirit of Elijah. Elijah gave a double portion of that spirit to his understudy, the Most High, Elisha. He had a double up of that same spirit. 2 different individuals, but that same spirit that comes from on high is given to individuals, different souls, to complete his plan, because this soul is going to die in this many years. So we're going to pass that spirit to another individual. You're not passing souls. You only pass the spirit of the Most High that goes on different individuals. The same spirit Samson had, David had that as a young boy. Killing lions with their bare hand. David had that same spirit. So it moves, that spirit moves, but that's not the soul. 2 separate things. Let's get it, y'all. We got to finish this up. We're going to hit this joke, y'all. We're going to get on out of it. We got 14 minutes. Go ahead.
Verse 23.
What it say?
For many in killing the wicked do 2 works.
Right.
Of good and evil. But the whole is good.
Right.
Because he hath uprooted and destroyed that which is evil.
He hath done what?
Uprooted and destroyed that which is evil.
Right.
One man hateth the merciful and unjust man, and the man who committeth adultery and fasteth. This too hath a 2-fold aspect, but the whole work is good, because he followeth the Lord's example, and that he accepteth not the seeming good as the genuine good. Another desireth not to see a good day with them that riot, lest he defile the body and pollute his soul. This too is double-faced, but the whole is good.
So it's going to be times where it's going to look like the good is doing good and evil. Like Abraham told his people that was around him, say Sarah is my what? Sister. So why did he say that? Huh? For his life? Right, for his, but and hers, because it say they kill men for beautiful women in Egypt. Y'all say this my sister. Is he lying? Huh? Is he lying? So I'm gonna say he lied. He telling other people to lie. Say this my sister. Look, you understand, and when you understand it from the depth perception, she's his sister, because in the kingdom you be called brothers and sisters if you die before the resurrection. So technically she was his sister, but technically she was his niece, not his blood sister. She was a distant niece, or a niece of his brother's son, or whatever it was. She was a niece, and that in no sense, but he was older and they didn't do nothing. They didn't have children. Both of them was to get together. They didn't have children till they both were completely immersed in the Most High. Sin is almost eradicated at this point, because both of them were well past the years of what? Reproduction. Well past the years. She even said, should I have a baby with these right here? Who gonna suckle on these flat things? It's powder in there. And he say, I ain't been worried about that for the longest. So she jumped the gun and went and got Hagar. But the angel told her this time, he's like, well, okay, you jumped the gun, but I'll be back in 9 months. And then we'll see who laughed. That's why Isaac means laughter. Because she kept, a baby? Well, I've been in menopause for 30 years now. A baby? So, in like manner, you know, did he lie about that? It says sometimes things happen that you have to make a move that it may seem evil, but it's not double-faced. It's not two-faced. It's two-faced on the righteous side. I had to make a move like this or all of us gonna die. Sometimes you have to make a power move. Look, but when you get into the book of Jasher, it's gonna break that story down. Abraham never left from in front of that place. He paced back and forth, wondering, was Pharaoh that had his wife? And all the men was doing like this. How he found out, the other men was like, man, look at that. And they went and told him, it's a dude come through her. Tender, oh, she's a tender. He's like, what? Is she married? No, he says it's his sister. Bring her to me. But every time he tried to touch Sarah, the Most High sent an angel to wither his hand. Hey, damn. And finally it just twisted up like this. He's like, this is somebody's wife. That's where Hagar came from. Hagar was his wife's handmaid. He gave her that. He gave him a whole pocket of gold. He gave him clothes. He gave him fur. He said, see you later. He said, man, why you just didn't tell me this was your sister? So y'all, when we get into them stories, this is what this saying, that even though he said that technically we can make it his sister, that ain't no problem with the scripture. But in a whole, in a sense, the power move he had to do is just like Mordecai when he had to tell Esther, don't tell him you Hebrew. Please don't tell him you Hebrew. Not right now. Hebrew's on the hit list. So is he telling her to defraud her husband? Is this the double-minded on the good side that end up being good? This is what he's saying. There's situations that's going to have you where you have to make a decision for the lives of everybody. And it may be uncomfortable, but it's for the depth perception down the road. When I tell y'all she my sister, y'all tell that I'm looking for her in the kingdom, because she won't be his wife in the kingdom. She'll be his sister in the kingdom. That's why he gave the parable. Woman had 7 husbands, all of them died. Which one gonna be her husband in the kingdom? What'd he say? What'd he say? He said, no. He said, what they gonna be? They're gonna be sisters and brothers. That's why we practicing now calling each other brothers and sisters. That's why Abraham and his wife called each other brother and sister. They were looking, the depth perception was down there that when we're gonna be a part of a family, we're gonna be like the angels was. We're going to a different estate. The rest of this procreation gonna be left for Israel that remains alive. But ours, we're going to be brothers and sisters. We're going to be like we was before the Most High allowed us to have children again. You're brothers and sisters at that point. You're not thinking about, girl, you know it's Friday. You know what we do. You don't do that no more. It's coffee, a couple kisses, and then you go to bed. I mean, that's not on your mind like it is on a young person in your mind. You moved away from that. This is like a sister now. Sister, you cook breakfast? If y'all ever wonder why older people call, husband and wives call each other brother and sister. Brother, sister, did you cook their past after the other side of midnight? They don't long for that. He's not rattling and chucking Viagra. I'm feeling 25 again, guys. That ain't happening. They're like brothers and sisters. And that's when the point where people started saying, y'all, the longer y'all be together, y'all starting to look alike. Let's read some more, y'all.
Verse 26.
What it say?
For such men are like to stags and to hides, because in the manner of wild animals they seem to be unclean, but they are altogether clean, because they walk in zeal for the Lord and abstain from what God also hated and forbidden by his commandments, warding off the evil from the good.
Warding off the evil from the good. Such men are like unto stags and hinds. Those are deer. Those on the clean list. But to other people, they seem like unclean. But this clean food is like today when you tell somebody, yeah, we had lamb. Lamb! Lamb, what that tastes like? Lamb. But you say pig feet pie? Right. Where? But y'all done heard it. We had lamb, we had some dish. I don't like that. They say, can you eat that? See, stags and hinds to the unclean, that seems like unclean because they don't know the dietary laws. Right. Their law is you can eat whatever. Eat, arise, kill, and eat. Let's read some more.
Verse 27.
What it say?
Ye see, my children, how that there are two in all things, one against the other, and the one is hid by the other. And wealth is hid covetousness, and conviviality, drunkenness, and laughter grief, and wedlock profligacy. Verse 28. Death succeedeth life, dishonor to glory, night to day, and darkness to light. And all things are under the day, just things under life, unjust things under death. Wherefore also eternal life awaiteth death. Nor may it be said that truth is a lie.
Nor that it may be said that what?
Truth is a lie.
That's why we ask again, did Abraham lie? Let's read some more.
Nor right wrong. For all truth is under the light, even as all things are under God. All these things, therefore, I proved in my life, and I wandered not from the truth of the Lord. And I searched out the commandments of the Most High, walking according to all my strength with singleness of faith unto that which is good.
Of singleness of faith, y'all, which that is good. Don't let nobody ever tell you two-faced. Don't matter who it is, you got to render the exact judgment. Don't matter who it is. If it's two parties involved, there's a truth that lie in the middle. There's two sides of a story, and then there's the what? Truth. Let's read some more.
Verse 31. Take heed, therefore, ye also, my children, to the commandments of the Lord, following the truth with singleness of faith. For they that are double-faced are guilty of a twofold sin. For they both do the evil thing, and they have pleasure in them that do it, following the example of the spirits of deceit and striving against mankind.
We're going to hold that. Y'all read all that in your own time. We just need to move to the very next chapter, Joseph, and read it. We're going to the last chapter. I want y'all to read all of the chapters of Joseph. But for time's sake, y'all, we're just going to move to the most important part, y'all. And this is explaining when we talk about Joseph, what he went through with Pharaoh's wife. She was what you call a cougar today. She saw Joseph young and scrappy. You think Absalom was handsome. She was on him, y'all. And these are, if y'all want to understand what we finna read now, if y'all ever see the video by Michael Jackson, Remember the Time, he was playing Joseph. Eddie Murphy and Imam, that Hamite model, supermodel, was playing Pharaoh and his wife. And she got up off the throne and did like this. This man, now she's sitting next to the most powerful man on earth. And here a young Hebrew scrapping, and she, oh my goodness. Y'all check out that video when you get a chance, and then what we're about to read, you'll understand it perfectly. Let's get the last chapter of that, Joseph, y'all. We're gonna I want y'all to read all of the chapters, y'all, but for time's sake, we're gonna move on down.
You said the last chapter?
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
You doing the whole thing?
Yeah, the whole, let's skip down to, let me see. No, I want to go down to, we ain't gonna read that whole thing, y'all. We're gonna get down to, I just want to get to the, y'all read the whole thing, and the whole thing is about, if y'all ever wonder why Joseph was cast into prison and the attacks that this woman was doing. This woman was ordering the best perfume. She was sending the guards away. He would not break. She even told him, if you have intercourse with me, then I'll believe your God. I'll get my husband to join in too. Then I'll join your God. Go ahead, brother.
That got a little dream work movie out about that. It don't go into depth, but it gives you a good sense of what happened during the testimony of Joseph.
Well, Joseph made a movie.
Yeah.
It's a movie out there?
Yeah, it's like a little dream work movie.
See, so y'all can get there, y'all. It's readily available. Okay, let's pick it up by verse 50,
chapter 2.
Yeah, chapter 2.
It says.
Start about 45, 47. And this, y'all, we just gonna read this how y'all gonna close out. But y'all, this story is so important for y'all to understand what a man went by and how he eschewed evil. I'm talking about this Pharaoh's woman, they say was the finest woman in the land. All the money, all the wealth, but she wanted that young Hebrew. So just like how people mad at, like they say white women coming after black men, this was a black woman coming after a Hebrew man, and they both was the same color, the same exact color. That's why we have to be careful about somebody talking about we hate white folks. When those ancestors of ours wake up, guess who they gonna hate? You know why? Because they ain't never saw the descendants of Esau. Not like that. I should say that were had them under bondage like that. They were outside of Egypt. But this crew that was in Egypt when Jacob went down there with his 70 souls, this was a whole nother deal of this master dominating and taking control. Let's read, y'all, so we get on out of here.
Testament Joseph, chapter 2, you said verse 47?
Yeah, 47.
Then, therefore, they took counsel to sell me, that I should not be found in their hands. For they feared my father, lest he should come and execute upon them a grievous vengeance.
Right.
But they had heard that he was mighty with God and with me.
So what we picking this up is the Ishmaelite sold him. So Pharaoh and his wife, they arguing about where he come from, who bought him, how did he get here? And he's Joseph in his mind, he like, I just have to reveal that I was just sold, because they had heard Jacob looking for his son. He's still mourning, and he a powerful man, God with him. He looking for his son. He knew that as well as he knew that I'm gonna have to tell on my brothers why I'm really here. Do you know? And when you read up the first chapter, it's talking about all of the brothers, Judah, Simeon, Levi, all of them sold Joseph through envy and jealousy. Their own brother. They wanted to kill him, but they tricked their daddy and sold him. And he remembered that, but yet he didn't charge them for their folly one time, because the depth perception was down the road that he already had told them a dream. The sun and the moon gonna fall down to this one. And they said, so he's saying daddy and mama gonna fall down there? But he had already saw the famine coming to the world. This whole thing was already from a law. They went another route, and they were so mad at him, jealousy, because he was having vision, and his father made him that nice coat, that they wanted to put their brother to death. Now y'all think about that. Put him to death so he stopped the dream. But what is that gonna do to your dad? See, that's working another evil. It's still an evil side on that. Same thing they did when they let them circumcise Shechem for rape and Dinah. They should have just killed Shechem them at the beginning, but they told their father, okay, we agree with that, and let them circumcise them, bring them into the covenant of law, and then slay them with their legs wide open because they were circumcised at a late age. And I'm telling you, when you get circumcised at a late, it better not be a feather touchdown. It's tender. Ain't a nerve. Ain't a nerve. But we was 12 when it happened. Oh, 12 years old walking like Fred Sanford. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 50. Then said the merchant.
What's the matter, Boopy? What's the matter?
Go
ahead, read on, bro.
Verse 50.
What it say?
Then said the merchant unto them, release me from the judgment of Pentifery. And they came and requested me, saying, say that thou was bought by us with money, and he will set us free. Now the Memphian woman said to her husband, buy the youth, for I hear, says she, that they are selling him.
So the Memphian woman, y'all, do you know Memphis is set up just like ancient Egypt? That's why there's a pyramid in Memphis now. The Memphian woman, just saying they were dwelling in a town called Memphis in ancient Egypt.
Right.
So the Memphian woman, which was Pharaoh's wife, said, buy the youth, go and buy them. They squabbling over the money, go and buy them, you know. But she had alternate plans. He thinks she's trying to just save some drama, but she wants some drama. She wants some Hebrew drama. Let's get some more.
Verse 53.
What it say?
And straightway she sent a eunuch to the Ishmaelites and asked them to sell me. But since the eunuch would not agree to buy me at their price, he returned, having made trial with them. And he made known to the mistress that they asked a large price for their slaves.
So the eunuch, he couldn't buy Joseph because he said they want too much for him. That's a Hebrew slave. They asked him way too much paper. So he had to go back until they want fat paper for him. Let's read some more.
Verse 55. And she sent another eunuch saying, even though they demand 2 minas,
even if they did offer 2 minutes,
give,
yo, that's like they said, even if they ask for half the kingdom, give it to them. I got to half it. Yo, this is how powerful that lust that Paul speaks of in 1 Corinthians 7 says it's better to marry than to burn. This was burning her like lake of fire. When that lust demon get on you and ride you like that, you won't stop till the deed is done and you throw the rag in the sink. Go ahead.
Give them. Do not spare the gold. Only buy the boy and bring him to me.
See, he said, don't spare nothing. Ain't no cost too high. Buy that boy. Outbid everybody. Go ahead.
Verse 57. And though I knew this, I held my peace, lest the eunuch should be put to shame.
So Joseph even knew what the plot was. And he said, I got to look out for that eunuch because he going to be put to death. Y'all understanding what this boy was going through all for this woman? Like, he had to look out for somebody else. Their life on the line because of her lust from a powerful position. Let's read some more.
Verse 58.
What it say?
Ye see, therefore, my children, what great things I endure, that I should not put my brethren to shame. Do ye also therefore love one another, and with long suffering hide ye one another's fault?
And this is what we talking about. This is why I'm saying you love your enemies because they're the foes of your own household. Matthew 10, Micah 7 chapter. The same thing, your enemies are the foes of your own household. There's sometimes things gonna happen that's gonna make you, but there's a line you cannot cross. You know why? Because if the Lord is still showing them favor, guess who you may see in the kingdom? See, so you can't pray for who you don't expect to see there. When you're praying for your enemies, you're praying that you hope they get it right. If I see them, cool. If I don't, I understand they didn't get it right. But if they're deep into wickedness, you can't pray for that because there's no repentance there. Let's read some more.
Verse 6.
What it say?
For God delighteth in the unity of brethren, and in the purpose of a heart that takes pleasure in love. And when my brethren came into Egypt, they learned that I had returned their money unto them, and upbraided them not, and comforted them. And after the death of Jacob my father, I loved them more abundantly, and all things whatsoever he commanded, I did very abundantly for them. And I suffered them not to be afflicted in the smallest matter, and all that was in my hand I gave unto them. And their children were my children, and my children as their servants. And their life was my life, and all their suffering was my suffering, and all their sickness was my infirmity. My land was their land, and my counsel, and their counsel my counsel. And I exalted not myself among them in arrogancy because of my worldly glory, but I was among them as one of the least.
See, he could have easily just told him, look, I told y'all that dream before y'all sold me to the Ishmaelites and told my daddy you had killed me. He could have turned and rode herd on them and done them like they done him. But he said, my wealth is y'all. Where how I live good, y'all live good. That heaps coals on his brother's head. What could they be doing but do like this? Boy, we some low down, dirty dogs. What if our daddy found out we did this? We some low down, dirty dogs. This our brother that sold us. Now he's saving our life. Just like the vision had said. The depth perception was for this event. Let's read some more.
All right, verse 67, I'm sorry. It says, if ye also therefore walk in the commandments of the Lord, my children, he will exalt you there and will bless you with good things forever and ever. And if anyone seek to do evil unto you, do well unto him and pray for him, and ye shall be redeemed of the Lord from all evil. For behold, ye see that out of my humility and long suffering, I took on to wife the daughter of the priest, Harlotry.
So did he have a mixed marriage of a strange woman? This Joseph, he's married Pharaoh's daughter. It's a problem with the law. Is he breaking Nehemiah 13? Huh? He admit this came out of his mouth. Why is the Lord still dealing with him? So how do we got to look at a strange woman? But we're going to see the difference in her mindset versus a strange woman like Solomon married. Let's read some more.
Verse 7. And 100 talents of gold were given me with her, and the Lord made them to serve me. And he gave me also beauty as a flower beyond the beautiful ones of Israel. And he preserved me unto old age in strength and in beauty, because I was like in all things to Jacob. And hear ye, my children, also the vision which I saw. There were 12 parts feeding, and the 9 were first dispersed over all the earth, and likewise also the 3.
So hold right there. And what we're gonna do, y'all just read the end of that. But what I want to do was the 40th verse of chapter 1, y'all. We're just gonna read three or four verses of that. Then we'll close out because I wanted y'all to see what he was going through with this woman, her lust and her desire. So just get chapter 1 from. Just start at verse 40, and we're just gonna read a couple verses. We're gonna get out because that's the crux of the story. I just want y'all to see the back end first, but to see now what he had to deal with. So just start at verse 40 of that chapter 1 and just read a couple verses. And I want y'all to see her desperation. Her lust for this man, for this boy that she's saying. And you know, because I've been trying to think, what is wrong with these teachers keep having sex with these young boys in school and going to jail and just seeing this one go to jail? But y'all, there's a lust demon out there to make them look at young boys and they flip out and lose their mind. Read that, read a little bit of that, and we're going to close out.
The Testament of Joseph, chapter 1, verse 40.
What does it say?
And she said unto me, if thou willest that I should leave my idols, lie with me.
Do what?
Lie with me.
He's like, this the deal. I'll get rid of my idols if you sleep with me. Let's read some more.
And I will persuade my husband to depart from his idols.
And I will do what?
Persuade my husband to depart from his idols.
Is this before or after the dirty deed? This after the dirty deed. She ain't gonna persuade him before. This after the dirty deed. I'll persuade him. Lie with me, then I'll persuade him. Let me see what you're working with, then I'll persuade him. Let's read some more.
And we will walk in the law by thy Lord.
So how are you gonna make an unclean thing clean? Wait a minute. We're gonna start this off in adultery and then we'll follow your God's commandments. That's gonna work. Let's read some more.
Verse 41.
What it say?
And I said unto her, the Lord willeth not that those who reverence him should be in uncleanness, nor doeth he take pleasure in them that commit adultery, but in those that approach him with a pure heart and undefiled lips. But she heeded her peace, longing to accomplish her evil desire.
What kind of desire?
Evil desire. And I gave myself yet more to fasting and prayer, that the Lord might deliver me from her.
Now, today men would say, wouldn't have had to pray for her. I wouldn't have had to fast. I'd have told her. But he praying to the Lord and fasting that spirit that's driving her, he's trying to pray it away. This how powerful he's seeing in this depth perception. These demons on her, they ain't gonna stop till they make me break the law, because then that breaks all of the prophecies that Joseph had told his brothers. All that go away if he lay down with her. All that's gone. He already seeing this years down the line. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 42. But she heed her peace, longing to accomplish her evil. And I gave myself yet more to fasting and prayer, that the Lord might deliver me from her. And again, at another time, she said unto me, if thou wilt not commit adultery,
if thou will not do what?
Commit adultery, I will kill my husband by poison and take thee to be my husband.
She like, it's on you, partner. You can get this or he dead. Now what you gonna do? You won't sit? Go ahead, bro. Read some more.
Verse 45.
What it say?
I therefore, when I heard this, rent my garments and said unto her, woman.
See, he had to just break. He said, woman. Look, he at this point, he like, I'm gonna die right now, but I got to tell you, you done really lost your mind now. If you kill your husband and get all this wealth and I'm a poor man, I'm next on the chopping block, especially if I don't deliver. Let's read some more.
Verse 46, woman, reverence God and do not this evil deed, lest thou be destroyed. For know indeed that I will declare this thy device unto all men.
So he said, I'll tell everybody. You better repent now. I don't care what you do to me, but I'm gonna holler it out to everybody what you doing. I'll declare this to everybody. Now y'all think about this. It's the finest woman in Egypt. All the power in the world, and all she's saying, just give me an evening. That's all you have to do. Give me an evening. Let's read some more.
Verse 47, She therefore, being afraid, besought that I would not declare this device. And she departed, soothing me with gifts.
What? Soothing me with what?
Gifts. And sending to me every delight of the sons of men.
Sending to me every delight of the sons of men. What do y'all think that is? Cake and ice cream? That ain't the desires of men. It's Cardi B, Halle Berry, and Beyonce, and those desires she sent to him. Just read some more.
Verse 49. And afterwards she sent me food mingled with enchantment.
Uh-oh, she ready to put a root on it now. Then sprinkled it with adultery seeds. Adultery. Let him eat that. And our magicians told it, he eat the adultery seeds, he will be humping like a horse in no time. Give him plenty of it. Put extra in there. Let's go.
Verse 50. And when the eunuch who bought it came, I looked up and beheld a terrible man giving me with the dish of sword.
Yeah.
And I perceived that her scheme was to beguile me. And when he had gone out, I wept, nor did I taste that or any other of her food. So then after one day, she came to me and observed the food and said unto me, why is it that thou hast not eaten of the food?
Eating the best of it. She said, hey, you know them lamb chops from your homeland. Hey, them sweet potatoes. Know what y'all like. That's cabbage, corn on the cob. Hey, you ain't eating none of that. You want some of this North Korean food? You want some dog and small potato? You getting the best of this. Read some more.
Verse 53. And I said unto her, it is because thou hast filled it with deadly enchantment.
He told her, you got root in that food. You got root in there. Go ahead.
And how sayest thou, I come not near to idols, but to the Lord alone? Now therefore know that the God of my father hath revealed unto me by his angel.
By his what?
Angel. Thy wickedness. And I have kept it to convict thee, if haply thou mayest see and repent. But that thou mayest learn that the wickedness of the ungodly hath no power over them that worship God with chastity. Behold, I will take of it and eat before thee.
See, because an idol is nothing. She didn't sacrifice that to demons. That was just what she thought would do. All that no food make you sin against the Lord. Nothing. They first put it in your mind that it could do that. Yes, certain herbs have reaction and you may feel a certain way. Yes, they may enhance some things. Y'all read it all day. Chocolate and wine will do what? And strawberries. What it do? What does aphrodisiac do? So this ain't nothing new. We know what enchantments are. But it have no power. You can eat that and say, no, it ain't doing nothing. I don't feel a thing. Not a twitch nowhere. Go ahead.
Verse 56.
What it say?
And having so said, I prayed thus: the God of my fathers and the angel of Abraham be with me, and ate.
See how his soul prays. So is he tempting the Lord? I'll eat that pause and you just put that, but he asked her to repent. He did that. He said, so you don't think you got power over men with your enchantments? I don't care how many frog ankles you done ground up and put in there. It don't work. I'm a servant of the Lord. This is Mark 16. If you eat any unclean thing, if you do this, if a serpent bite you, it has no power over you when the Holy Spirit dwells with you. Because he's looking out for her life more. He's begging her to stop her bad behavior and repent. And he just said, woman, I'll eat that so you will know my heart is true. I'll eat that poison food. And when he was gobbling it down and she was looking, and she said, that robe ain't rose up, no. It ain't gonna rise up. Go ahead.
Verse 57.
What it say?
And when she saw this, she fell upon her face at my feet, weeping. And I raised her up and admonished her.
Raised her up and still admonished her. Now, cut all that out. You a married woman. You just gonna be doing that. You the wife of a king of a whole nation. This will get everybody killed. Admonished her. What she say?
Verse 58. And she promised to do this iniquity no more. But her heart was still set upon evil. And she looked around how to ensnare me. And sighing deeply, she became downcast, though she was not sick.
See, she wasn't physically sick from no disease, but she was sick from love. Off-limit love. Lust at a high level. She's sick from that because she can't have, her words ain't working on him. This done worked on 1,000 different men, but I can't get him. Let's read some more.
Verse 60.
We almost done, y'all.
And when her husband saw her, he said unto her, why is thy countenance fallen?
Look, he wondering, wait a minute. I just put a gold bracelet on you in a party for you the other day. What you looking like you done belched at White Castle for? What's happening? Go ahead.
Verse 61. And she said unto him, I have a pain in my heart, and the groanings of my spirit oppress me. And so he comforted her who was not sick.
He comforted her who was not sick. Now he rubbing the baby, it's gonna be all right. Yeah, honey, smoke comes. I got some more gifts for you, and her heart is sick for Joseph the Hebrew. You ain't got enough gifts to solve this beast that's inside of her, that's driving her until she have this man. When you read the testament of Reuben, he had the same thing. He said he couldn't sleep. He didn't go to sleep for a week till he had Bilhah, his little brother's mother. Now, if he had a baby by, what was his little brother gonna call that baby? Uncle brother? Uncle nephew? It was gonna rout Uncle brother. It was gonna rout confusion. But he said, until I did that dirty deed. And he said, she didn't even wake up when I slipped on her. I waited till I got her drunk and slipped in on her and handled my business inside of 30 seconds and was gone.
I was going to say 60 seconds.
I mean, he said it was lickety split. It's lickety split because it's epididymal hypertension.
Uh-oh.
When you looked at turn him up, it means he was full of blue ball. It was right at the edge. He wasn't gonna go more than 30 seconds. And then when it went, the devil left, he flees. You gotta be the MF now. Let's read.
Verse 62. Then, accordingly seizing an opportunity, she rushed onto me while her husband was yet without.
Y'all see that? Rubbed herself on him while her husband went out there, just rubbed all up on it. Like, this woman is crazy. And you know, servants was right there looking at like, oh, this game. But they can't say nothing. Read. Go ahead, brother.
And said unto me, I will hang myself or cast myself over a cliff if thou wilt not lie with me. And when I saw the spirit of Balaam was troubling her.
Who did he see troubling her?
Balaam.
See, he looked, his spiritual, his depth perception saw who was driving her for this type of behavior. He like, this a chief demon on her. This woman is crazy. If I do this, he gonna kill both of us. Y'all remember the movie Mandingo when she finally snowed Ken Norton to come in there? He failed. And then he trying to explain it while Master heating up that pot, that boiling pot, and finna put him in there. Master, now you knows I wouldn't have did nothing to her. He like, well, she just had a baby by you. And the skin is bronze. That ain't my baby. If you wouldn't have did that, this baby wouldn't be looking like that. That'd be my baby. They gave the baby the poison powder and put him in the pot. Let's read some more.
I prayed unto the Lord and said unto her, why, wretched woman?
Why who?
Wretched woman. Art thou troubled and disturbed, blind from sin?
Blind from what?
Sin. Remember that if thou kill thyself, how you pronounce it?
Astio.
The concubine of thy husband, thy rival, will be thy children, and thou wilt destroy thy memorial from off the earth.
So he said, look, what happened with Abraham and Sarah and Hagar? This gonna happen here. If you kill yourself, the concubine just gonna move in your position and gonna beat the hell out of your children. They ain't gonna have no place. They ain't get no inheritance. He trying to give her every example. Look down the line. It ain't worth 2 minutes. Let's read some more.
Verse 66.
What it say?
And she said unto me, lo, then thou lovest me.
Then love me then, and I won't have to think this way. We won't have to worry about it. We can solve all this. Just give me what I want. Go ahead.
Let this suffice me. Only strive for my life and my children, and I expect that I shall enjoy my desire also.
You see this? She don't care. She like, look, really, little Pharaoh, I don't like him that much. I don't believe he minds anyway, even though it came out of me. I believe that's somebody else's child anyway, even though it came out of me. I ain't worried about that. Just come on, man, please. Y'all, this is what the word lasciviousness is. And you think it's just on a man. It's on a woman 10 times more. Let's read some more.
Verse 67. But she knew not that because of my Lord I spake thus, and not because of her.
See, and he said everything was from the Lord, not about her. But when y'all get into the beginning of this chapter, you know why she fell in love so much? They had stripped all the clothes off of Joseph, was beating the hell out of him. So they were whooping him naked, and she's peeping. Lord, what? Woo! I need some whooping with that. This where it started. Just like David saw Bathsheba, this where that started. They had pulled all his clothes off. She like, and you say these Hebrews. So it ain't like any other, y'all, that's why I'm saying it ain't about no, it's all nations desire this. It ain't just this group of nations, all nations. Read some more.
Verse 68.
What it say?
For if a man has fallen before the passion of a wicked desire and become enslaved by it, even as she, whatever good thing he may hear with regard to that passion, he receiveth it with a view to his wicked desire. I declare therefore unto you, my children, that it was about the 6th hour when she departed from me.
About 12 noon.
And I knelt before the Lord all day and all the night. And about dawn I rose up weeping the while and praying for a release from her.
Praying for what?
A release from her.
Y'all think about this, y'all. Somebody on your trail so hard, you have to pray to the Lord to stop that spirit that's driving them from trying to have. Next rape was going to happen. A female was going to rape a male. This was coming. Let's read some more.
Verse 70. At last, then she laid hold of my garments, forcibly dragging me to have connection with her.
Look, grabbed his garment. You gonna give me some of this. You gonna give me some of this. Read some more.
When therefore I saw that in her madness.
In her what?
Madness. She was holding fast to my garment. I left it behind and fled away naked.
Pulled out, and you know how people pull out of a shirt, and he took off running out of that neck. She got his garment. Damn, he quit. Go ahead, bro.
And holding fast to the garment, she falsely accused me. And when her husband came, he cast me into prison in his house. And on the morrow, he scourged me and sent me into Pharaoh's prison. And when I was in bonds, the Egyptian woman was oppressed with grief. And she came and heard how I gave thanks unto the Lord and sang praises in the abode of darkness, and with glad voice rejoiced, glorifying my God that I was delivered from the lustful desires of the Egyptian woman.
Look, she come and Pete, you know, and listening. He in jail and he's singing to the Lord. Dang. And he hitting some tunes. I ain't gonna try, y'all.
Here's one of those.
Go ahead.
I'll do it quick.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And often hath she sent unto me, saying, consent to fulfill my desire, and I will release thee from thy bond, and I will free thee from the darkness.
I will free thee from the darkness. You can stop all of this. How many would take that after about, and Joseph did 12 years on a free case. Let's read some more.
It says, verse 75, and not even in thought did I incline unto her.
Not even in what?
Thought did I incline unto her.
He didn't even contemplate saying, let me hit her, and then I'll be out of here. I can be done with this matter. That thought never even came in his mind. He's like, woman, go away from her. Go ahead.
For God loveth him who in a den of wickedness combines fasting with chastity, rather than the man who in king's chambers combines luxury with license.
Luxury license. This is what John the Baptist went and told Herod the king when he was lusting after his brother's daughter, his niece. He gave her half the kingdom. He saw her dancing, that Shakira dance, that shaking of the hips, and he lost his mind. He was like that. Now he dating his brother. Now he sleeping with his brother's wife, and he looking at the daughter like this. Man, she could dance the way she moving them hips. And her mama looking at him like this. And she like, John the Baptist been trying to bust this relationship up, me and you got this adult relationship. And he said, tell her I give her whatever she wants as long as she dance for me like that. You lusting after your niece. And she whispered to her niece, tell him I want John the Baptist's head on a charger. A charger is that silver plate over there where they got fruit on. That's what she wanted his head on. And he jumped back. What? Because he had already promised her to have the kingdom. John the Baptist's head on the charger, that's what she say she want. And them hips will start swiveling right now, 10 miles faster than they was yesterday. And what you gonna do? No, kill him. Kill him, cut his head off. Let's read some more.
Verse 77.
What it say?
And if a man liveth in chastity and desireth also glory, and the Most High knoweth that it is expedient for him, he bestoweth this also upon me. How often, though she were sick, did she come down to me at unlooked for times, and listen to my voice as I prayed.
Look, all the time coming and just listening, just hoping he was singing sin now. I'm gonna tear that Pharaoh's woman up. But she wasn't singing that. He wasn't singing that. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not. That's what she kept hearing. I ain't crack yet. Let's read some more.
Verse 79. And when I heard her groanings, I held my peace. For when I was in her house, she was wont to bear her arms and breasts and legs, that I might lie with her. For she was very beautiful.
What was she?
Very beautiful, splendidly adorned in order to beguile me. And the Lord guarded me from her devices.
Yeah, we're gonna close out with that. But I just wanted y'all to see the strength of this man with chastity. This was like Paul. They wasn't worried about these type of things. You know, that's why a bishop had to be of one wife, because that's chastity at this point. They together till one of them die. They're not concerned about nothing else. He's not concerned about nothing else but the word of the Lord. So technically, they are chaste, so to speak, in this relationship, because nothing gonna come in to intervene on what they got. But y'all, that's his love for the Most High, y'all, that he was willing to go to jail and do that to the most beautifulest woman in Egypt. 12 years before he got, and he didn't get out because of that. He got out because he told who had the plot on Pharaoh to kill him. She finally just desired away. Can y'all imagine that, just laying in bed? And here he got all the paper. Y'all, this is why mammon don't do anything for you. All the paper. She wore all of the finest garb. She had everything serving, but she couldn't have him. What is money going to do at that point? He wasn't going to yield, y'all. And you hear somebody say, what am I supposed to do? She was on me like that. It's her fault. Wait a minute. It was her fault. So she did all the work. You was just standing like that. Next thing you know, you was naked and she was pregnant. She did it. Shalom to the worldwide family, y'all. Hope y'all got some understanding out there. Hope we got some understanding today, y'all. Did we get a little bit of understanding today? On the 2 and 2, y'all, the 2 good works versus the 2 evil that Satan coming, y'all, we got to get a just balance and have a singleness of face from that single eye so that these eyes stay corrected. Let's get it. Who got some questions? Anybody got anything before we close out? Anybody out there worldwide audience got anything before we close out? Let's get it, y'all.
We're going to get this closed in prayer with the Most High's permission. In the name of his only begotten Son, our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, the 26th chapter. And it reads, Judge me, O Yahweh, for I have walked in mine integrity. I have trusted also in the Most High. Therefore, I shall not slide. Examine me, O Yahweh, and prove me. Try my reins and my heart. For thy loving kindness is before mine eyes, and I have walked in thy truth. I have not sat with vain persons, neither will I go in with dissemblers. I have hated the congregation of evildoers, and will not sit with the wicked. I will wash mine hands in innocency. So will I compass thine altar, O Yahweh, that I may publish with the voice of thanksgiving and tell of all thy wondrous works. Yahweh, I have loved the habitation of thy house and the place where thine honor dwelleth. Gather not my soul with sinners, nor my life with bloody men, in whose hands is mischief, and their right hand is full of bribes. But as for me, I will walk in mine integrity. Redeem me and be merciful unto me. My foot standeth in an even place. In the congregations will I bless the Most High. Hallelujah! Say loud!
Good lesson, y'all. Y'all got a shekel or two, we greatly appreciate it. If anybody out there in the worldwide audience want to donate, bro, got a link out there, P.O. Box you can send to y'all. We'll get a PayPal up for electronic, y'all, very soon, y'all. So with that, y'all, we're going to go ahead and close out. And look, you kill the camera? Go ahead.